Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome in. Hopefully, everyone can hear me okay. You turn down that music. Testing 1, 2. Hope you're enjoying the jams. I really like this song. I gotta tell you. I think it's a great song as far as just like a little background song. It's very relaxing. Kind of gets everybody in the mood for a fun show, I hope. Let me put the video back on while I'm getting started. I'll introduce, welcome everyone in. And boy, we've got a lot of fun content tonight. We've got the return of Kween Heathah. She is back. We've got a segment with her. We've got Foodie having her, quote, last fast food meal, then having another. All of this after claiming to have lost over 30 pounds. That's right. Foodie, remember how I said it looked like she gained 150? I wasn't off by 150. I was off by 180. 180 pounds and 180 degrees, because it was the complete opposite of what I thought. She had not gained 150. She, in fact, lost over 30. So, yes, shows what I know. And you shows what you all know, right? Thank you. How could you all support me when I was so wrong? Well, with that out of the way. And by the way, I'm being sarcastic if anybody's listening for the first time. Welcome in, Nutty. The level 80 Ranger of garlic butter. I love your little avatar. That's so cute. That's the most adorable thing I've seen in a long time. I love it. Welcome in, Nutty. Nirvana. Oh, you got a cool new picture too. Looking like kick my butt. Mouse Toes, welcome in. Welcome in, Freedom Deep. Susie Q914. Hope you're having a good night. Angel of Glass. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Nirvana. Oh, no problem, Nirvana. Hey, well, glad to have you back. You know, if accounts on YouTube, you never know if you're going to have problems. Foodie is always having problems with her account. She's always changing the name and then somebody else takes it, right? So let's see here. Welcome everybody else in. Welcome in. Yeah, right. Lost 30 pounds. We're not going to watch the whole video because it's mostly filler, but we're going to watch the weigh-in part because it is just, it is chef's kiss. Perfect. It is perfect. Yes. Welcome in, everybody. Okay, so I hope everybody's had a good week, a good evening, and all that. Let's get to some of that recent foodie content. I've also got some other content unrelated to, well, semi-related to foodie. The one about Kween Heathah, where she is actually going off on foodie. She is making her comeback. She is just totally out of it. If anybody remembers her from a while ago. And I also have just an interesting segment. It's a very short segment, but it's just about a true crime story. But it's just so crazy. It's about prescription fraud and just such a crazy account of prescription fraud and just so absurd. And it was done by a famous person, a famous celebrity. Maybe not everybody here knows them, but a rapper. So if anybody heard of it recently, don't spoil it. It's a relatively newer rapper, but it's such a crazy story. It's just going to be a little palate cleanser in between the other segments tonight. So, okay, let's start off also with just something interesting, I think. A little short one to start, from failure to lunch. Let me share the screen as I get ready. All right, so put on that while I get the screen share. All right. Oops. There we go. All right.
Amanda. Oh, who are you?
I'm Amanda. I'm sick.
Let me play that one more time for anybody who missed that.
Who are you playing with, sweetie? Amanda. Oh, who are you?
I'm Amanda. I'm sick.
So as far as catfish goes, here is the fish that Foodie had today for her meal. We're actually going to watch. Well, I don't know. Would you rather? I think we'll rather watch this one real quick, and then we'll do the one where we actually watch the food haul, because I really love covering the food haul. But I'm going to watch just a little bit of this one. It's just the clips one. Welcome in, Queen of Awesome. Nirvana's had the hardest workout, and I'm telling you, hard workout. And these women come on here and claim they have lost 30 pounds. Stop the BS, for F's sake. Exactly. She's Amanda. Welcome in, Fiona's mom. And welcome in, Queen of Awesome. If I didn't get you in there. It's a massive fish she has, right? She has 3 mukbangs over the course of 2 days. Foodie's like setting a new record after, but I mean, she lost 30 pounds, right? If you lost 30 pounds, you don't have to be as strict on your diet, right? Well, I mean, I guess. Right? Okay, let's just watch. We're gonna watch a little bit of this clips here. This is the cut down version from. Let me get the name of the channel again.
Okay, babe, enjoy your singari fish, and I'm going to enjoy my hamur fillet.
Yum. Enjoy, enjoy.
Thank you.
Did your Salah say that? And he said that he's going to enjoy his fillet of fish. So in other words, this whole plate that Foodie got, this is not to share with Salah. Look how huge the rice she got is. And Salah is in the background enabling this, pretending like, oh yeah, I'm going to have the fish that you got for me. You know what she probably got him? One of those kids meals. One of those little like kid-sized fish sandwiches. That's probably what she got him. So let me post the link to the video for anybody who hasn't seen, or excuse me, to the edit. If you don't want to give Foodie the views, you'd rather give a talented editor the views. Here's a channel I like to use sometimes.
Sahawafia.
Wow, such chemistry, not scripted at all.
Hello, guys.
And that is the extent of Salah for season 3. I know you folks are so disappointed. I know you wanted more Salah. I know that you were all just clamoring for him back. You were like, hey, where's that wonderful guy, Salah? We're all so jealous of Foodie. We all wish we had a guy like that. You know, are we going to be able to see him? That's all you're going to get. I'm sorry.
Welcome back to another video. Yes, you heard Salah. Today I'm having sangari, which is basically butterflied fish, Middle Eastern style fish.
Welcome to Dainty Gorilla.
Fish from this place many times. They have a lot of fish places like this here, which is one of my favorite types of dishes.
Nirvana, it's so unbelievable. She didn't even have the decency. She didn't even have the decency to lie and say and give us like an actual weight first to make it believable. She could have said, well, you know what? I got to be honest with you folks. I gained a bunch of weight. I'm actually up to 4 something. And then she should lie and say, well, and hey, I just lost another 30 pounds. You couldn't really prove it. But because she's claiming to have lost weight after she's clearly gained, it's just so unbelievable. She's gotten so much bigger. You could compare the before and afters, which we did.
Dishes here. So it has the fried eggplant, rice, butterflied whole fish. With
I'll
the
say a
head
prayer
and
for you.
all,
I'll say a prayer for
some-
you, Fiona's mom. I hope that it goes well. You know, that's something that nobody wants. But you know, if you have to get it, hopefully it works out well for you. So
a little bit of
best of luck.
salad
Amen
and
on
vegetable
that.
juice, tomato broth, tahini, and mabuch, which is chili.
You can't.
Yes, agreed, Susie Q. I don't even know if, in fact, there's a chance he might not even be here, and he just recorded that, and she just used that recording and just put it in there. Because it's uncanny how little we've seen Salah, considering that he made that video and everything. Like when he came back, like it was going to be a big return. Yeah, welcome in, Tink Frog. Oh, hey, Hannibal, welcome in, man. Hit the like button, or I will send Foodie to your pantry. And you know she's gonna raid it bare. She's not gonna leave a darn thing for anybody. Well, welcome in, Hannibal. Thank you very much. Hannibal, House of Hannibal. Feel free to check him out for some great content. He covers a lot of King Cobra over there. He does a great job on that. And a lot of other fun stuff too. So yeah, go check him out. Is that an entire whale she is eating? Is it cannibalism? Is that what you're afraid of? I don't think it's a whale. It's really big though. It's Moby Dick. That's the only dick she's seen in a long time.
Convince me that meal isn't meant for an entire family.
Oh, and I have some fresh.
Yes, and this is absolutely a family meal. I think we had this talk last time she was in Kuwait, that the restaurants over there think that they're selling food to a family. They don't realize that Salah's bringing it to his family-sized wife.
You don't get fresher bread than this. Bismillah. Let's break bread together.
Yes,
and-
Queen of Awesome. Thank you for
Gorgeous.
using the B word, bringing it up, binge, because that is a big element. I'm alliterating with a lot of B's here. But that binging is a big problem for Foodie. And she says, oh, it's not a binge. Did anybody catch the wording she used? Did anybody hear how she said you could tell it's not a binge? She said, well, I binge in private. So if it's on video, it's not a binge. Did you hear? There you go. So that's all you need to know. If it's on video, it's technically not a binge. Because if she's binging, she does it in private. Like how she cleared that up for us? I think that's pretty cool. Oh, let's talk about the calories also real quick. Because Foodies, these binges are wild calorie-wise. Oh, welcome in, Kidney J. Kidney J, another channel with a lot of great content. If anybody, especially if you're interested in some of the more the quirkier girl world characters like Pink Fairy and HFC and also some of the, I guess some of the breakout stars like well, I don't know if she was in Girl World first, but like the Slaytons. Yeah, definitely check out Kidney J's channel. She's a real cool chick. Yeah, that fish portion is enormous. That is so much fish, and fish is relatively healthy. But when you deep fry it and cover it in breading like that, it becomes a lot of calories. And then you put it on that family-sized plate of rice. That's the real killer here, is the family-sized plate of rice. As big as that fish is, I don't think that the fish is what I would say is the real problem here. Yeah, and how many sauces does she have? Watch how she uses them, Sense of Wander. You know, Foodie's a saucy gal. Yeah, this is absolutely a binge. And the noodles and the double pizza. She had 3 plates of ramen noodles, it looked like. Another channel said it looked like she had 3. I think it looked like at least 2. Could have been 3. I'm not sure. But depending how you calculate the calories, at minimum, it was over 2,000 calories. At minimum, that big binge that she did. We're going to take a quick look at that one too. Yeah, these are all just like family-sized meals. The serving size is so big. And well, you know, but again though, we're being silly. We're being silly. Foodie lost 30 pounds. So yeah, she lost a bunch of weight. So there's nothing to worry about.
Calm down. It's bread.
I love tahini. I'm gonna put the actual fish here so I can eat the rice. Ooh. So I just kind of like spoon, I guess, this tomato broth. I'm just gonna dump it all over the rice.
That's a good question, Fiona's mom. They probably have like a really big fryer.
Hot sauce.
I mean, in fairness, the fish itself does look pretty good. Like it looks like it was fried well. But look how she poured all this sauce all over the rice. That to me that makes me think that she is eating all this rice at once, that she's going to finish this all soon. Because once you pour all that rice on it, it gets nasty. Especially when you pour that yogurt sauce on there. You don't want to pour that on there and then put that in the fridge and reheat it.
Knockoff Rooster brand. Well, it's like a local. I need a lot of that. Hot sauce.
This one, I don't know if she admitted it, but the other day she even called something her second dinner. I don't know if it's in this video or which. She's done a lot of videos recently since she got back to Kuwait, but she even said something about how, oh, it's not even a big deal. It was just my second dinner, something like that.
So it's onions, cucumber.
Yeah, I learned that. Foodie has a second dinner at 1:30 a.m. Did anybody else catch that? I don't remember which one it was. I think it was maybe with the ramen noodles, where she said, well, this is my second supper. It's 1 a.m. or something. She eats a second supper at 1:30 a.m. How crazy is that? That is crazy.
For green pepper, tomatoes, and it's like the juice from the vegetables.
It probably is. The salt is off the chart, dainty.
It's just so good.
Yep.
This is how
I have not seen that either.
I know.
That's got to be like what? 1,500 calories of rice with those extras you added.
Okay, and then we're gonna.
I totally agree with that. This is easily that much rice. Let me speed up just a little bit.
I put some fishy fish. Actually, what I also like to do with the bread is grab the eggplant, grab like that.
So she's making these little mini sandwiches, but she pours all this sauce on here too as well. So, all right, the little mini sandwiches, whatever, but she eats so much of this stuff, and we know full well that even if she doesn't finish the whole thing on camera, none of this is getting thrown out, and none of this is getting saved. We know that. And Salah darn sure ain't getting any of this either. There's a reason she covered it all in sauce, because she plans to eat all of it. She wasn't. She's like a puppy. She just won't stop eating.
Thank God for good food. Mashallah. I'm just gonna take the bones.
Right? She's up and down so much.
Like about these whole fishes is the bones.
Welcome in, Nancy.
I just ate a cardamom pod.
Ate a cardamom pod. Aren't those like really hard? Like, I don't think you're supposed to eat those. But yes, then she pours the second thing of tahini on there. And yeah, like I'm first of all, I'm not into like all that sauce anyway, but once you pour all that sauce on there, you basically have to finish it because it gets nasty.
For those of you who don't know or not familiar, Middle Eastern cuisine, tahini is
welcome.
sesame seed paste.
Yep.
Made into a sauce.
I got a feeling that she like eats the fish bones like an animal. Like she just takes the fish bone and puts it up to her mouth and just gnaws every bit of meat off of it like maybe like a raccoon.
Yeah, and it's extremely calorie dense as it's full of fat. Probably why she loves it.
Tastes like there's a bit of cumin in there. It's like watered down.
I could see that sense of wonder.
The fish restaurants here are incredibly affordable.
Oh, let me welcome in anybody I've missed. That is wonderful. That freeze frame there with her sleeve in the food. As far as being for feeders, this is only making me agree with that a little bit more. Yeah, I'm a dry gal. I'm a dry guy. Seriously, I don't like to use a lot of sauce though. Just because sauce adds a lot of calories. That's the only reason why. I mean, I do like the taste. Yeah, fish with bones is you got to be careful when you eat it. Just don't do the foodie and just put the whole thing in your mouth. You know what she probably does, like in the cartoons when they put the whole fish in their mouth and they just pull out the bone. I could see her doing that.
So,
why can't you ever keep your nasty sleeves out of your food?
for example,
I think she's still eating, pretending it's Ramadan so she can eat all night. She's like, well, I got to eat all night because during the day I need to sleep, right?
A good fish meal, a whole fish. And it comes with rice, bread, quite a bit of fresh bread. All the fixins you see, and a soda, but I'm having water. The soda never goes to waste. You know, Salah will drink it.
Fair enough, Nutty. I don't want to besmirch the raccoons by putting them down next to Foodie. Any raccoons my apologies to any raccoons in the audience.
Right. Just like how those pizzas were for Salah.
Sometimes I drink it, but today I'm trying.
Well, let me also say, anyone enjoying the show, like Hannibal said earlier, please hit that like button if you're enjoying the content. And please click subscribe, hit that subscribe bell. It helps out the channel quite a bit. And also, please feel free to post a link to the stream if you enjoy it, you think other people would as well. It helps the channel a lot. Doesn't cost anything. So that's very much appreciated. Thank you. If anybody is kind enough.
That soda would be a drop in the bucket compared to the rest of this meal. How's that 6-pack era going?
3 kg, which is maybe 12 Canadian dollars.
She does the math all the time. She's still off by over 10%. And that's correct. I hope it is, at least, if I did that after I did that flex. But what was I going to say? That the sodium and everything in this food is off the charts, especially with she goes meal after
Excuse me,
meal.
but WTF was that? Did you just pick your nose and then poke your eye right after?
Maybe it's less than that US. Like maybe 10. Oh, sorry. 10 US, something like that. So cheap.
And even if the food there is cheaper, Foodie, that doesn't mean that you should eat more. Just because you can get more food for the money doesn't mean that you should eat more. That's just so crazy to me, to think like the only thing that stops Foodie from being even bigger is that she doesn't have as much money as she would like. If she had more money, she'd buy even more food. That's what she's saying. She's saying, well, yeah, now that I can buy more, I can eat more.
Usually one meal would be that much. At least. If I go to Red Lobster,
I'm not sure, Fiona's mom. I'm really not sure about that one. I think that I think they do get some kind of gratification, but I don't think it has to be like a sexual thing. I think just watching the food is enough for them. I'm not sure though, to be honest. Sorry about that. My apologies. You're not even shocked anymore. It's like a naked and laughing's nasty mouth. You just get tired of it after a while. Or you get used to it. She absolutely drank the soda. I agree. 6-pack of hamburger bun. Trolling her health to an early grave. It's going to get the pink eye arc incoming. Good point, Queen of Awesome. That rice looks like it's made with some grease, some butter, some broth, salt. Doesn't look like it tastes bad, but certainly not the healthiest, this plain rice. Thank you very much for everybody. And any lurkers, I'd like to thank you as well. Anybody watching the replay, thank you very much. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think.
I was running out of breath. Why do I hold my breath when I drink? Probably because my nose is always stuffed and I can't breathe out of it. Ooh, okay, I've had enough to eat. We always have leftover bread.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think that as soon as the camera goes off, she is going to take this thing and gnaw at it like a not like a raccoon, like some other animal. Don't want to, gotta watch. Gotta be careful. But she's gonna gnaw at it like some kind of a pawed animal would, and she's gonna eat the rest of this rice. Just I don't know with the spoon or what, but she's gonna just polish that off.
We can have for breakfast.
Sure, totally won't devour those when the camera goes off. I don't know, this whole video gave me manic vibes.
Fresh bread. It only stays fresh for like a day. Anyways, guys, this is one of my favorite Kuwait meals. I eat this, I've eaten this a few times on camera, but I eat this. We eat this regularly.
Did you hear that?
We, if Salah or
Eats this regularly. Although she did say we, I don't believe the we. I think she does eat this regularly. Oh, welcome in, Jarella. Thank you so much. And welcome in, Holly and Hell. Yes, happy May 1st, everybody. Have a great day. Like a rat. Actually, yeah, kind of. The doctor told her she'd have 1 cup of rice. Yeah, but he didn't say how big, Nancy. He didn't say how big. Could have a massive cup, right? Really? See, I luckily, dairy, I tolerate dairy great. I never have any issues with it. Needs a tall glass of gravy for her, right? Where's her usual drink. Oh, thank you, Maggie. Thank you so much for reminding me. That was the main thing I wanted to talk about. That was why I did the that's why I did the banner that I did. I totally forgot. Thank you for the reminder. And welcome in, Maggie. But yes, the banner, like I'm saying, she said the other day that this was her last fast food. Foodie did this whole video, this whole big thing where she was talking about how, oh yeah, I got to get my health together, which doesn't make sense considering she just lost 30 pounds. You'd think if you lost 30 pounds that you wouldn't need to change anything, right? Like if I just lost 30 pounds of fat and I was trying to lose weight and I lost 30 pounds, I wouldn't feel like I needed to change anything. I'd say, hey, I need to keep doing what I'm doing because this is working really well. But apparently Foodie, despite losing 30 pounds, like she says, said she needs to start doing things better than losing 30 pounds, I guess. And doing things better is going to mean no more fast food, no more eating out, no more delivery, no more junk food, no more any of that stuff. So she was having a final meal, a final meal. She ate this big, massive mukbang, and this isn't even this one. This was not even a day later. She eats this giant fried fish. Not even a day later. Didn't even make it 4 hours.
Also eats that meal. How come you never share it? It's clearly meant for a family.
Because honestly, like here, in Canada, I could say, oh, I'm not going to eat out. It's too much money. But here, and even in Thailand and some countries, it's more affordable to just buy the takeout than to make it yourself. It would be more expensive to make these 2 meals than to just buy it. Like when you consider everything, you would have more of it, I guess, but I mean, I can't cook fish like this. I don't have.
Susie Q, she is boring, but I'm still holding my fingers crossed for the Salon Chantel series to start. Like I'm just having some fun now that she's just being back in Kuwait. The novelty is not worn off for me yet. But if we don't start seeing Salah soon, I am gonna get a little bit frustrated because I'm like, keep waiting. Where's Salah? Where's Salah? That's what I want to see because that was the content that originally really got me into Chantel. Was her and Salah together.
For that. So what I mean?
I'm a little disappointed we're not
really
getting
good.
that.
It's just really good. They have so many of these little restaurants. They look like some of the stores and restaurants. They're like box shaped.
Welcome in, Blue Eyes.
But they're cool. I'll take you guys around one day. I think I've shown a lot in my videos already, but
that's the only way she's losing 30 pounds is the foot, or maybe she takes a massive crap because I could believe that she's very constipated. Yeah, we're talking about weight loss. It's such a lie, and it is such BS. And anybody who's actually been on a diet or really lost any weight knows what a lie it is. Because you can see how much she's gained. If she at least had held steady, she could have maybe lied a little bit. But she has gained over 100 pounds, and she wants to talk about losing 30. It is such a lie.
No harm in doing it again. But they have a lot of these seafood places, and they're very affordable. They're very fresh. They make the fish right there on command, like on order. To order, I should say. I'm
sorry you're stressed out, Fiona's mom, but at least the bright side is you made it easier to get the weight off for the surgery. So take the good with the bad, I guess.
And it's always spot on. So yeah. All right, guys. I guess that's it for now. Thank you for having dinner with me, and I'll see you in the next video.
Bye. Woof woof. Woof, woof. Oh, yeah, and that's the best part. When she was eating that second dinner, she said she was, quote, hiding it from Salah, the one with the pizza. Then she does a video, which we're going to watch now, actually. Let me put that on, because I've got all these short edited versions. Here, where she justifies her gluttony from the night before. This is the after the one where she does the where she eats the crazy big meal. Let me find that one. I don't have a video of her actually eating that meal, but I'm gonna look for that while I put this on.
Hi, Foodie Beauty. How are you feeling? I'm feeling a lot better today, actually. Thank you for asking. I say this with love, but your last mukbang was one of the most terrifying things I've seen in years. You know what? Yeah, I bet you it was a demon, Brenda. What the F was last night? Just a really bad moment. Just a weak moment.
A weak moment or retaliation against Salah for telling you to put away the sunflower seeds prior.
And
that's right. She allegedly also ate a bazillion sunflower seeds the other night. She ate like, I don't know. She didn't say how many, but if Foodie said she ate a lot, like how many do you think that is? Like a pound, a kilo?
Actually, I was actually victorious at something last night because I had made an extra pizza and for Salah, but he didn't eat it last night. So here's an example of when I overeat.
Here, let me just show the food real quick. I'm not going to show the whole video, but let me just share the meal she actually ate, just so you can get an idea how crazy it was. This was her so-called last hurrah, her last fast food meal. This was it. This massive plate of ramen noodles that she made using cream, and she adds cream to it, bouillon cubes, so much salt, 2 pizzas, and she had 2 of those pizzas that she made. I did the calculations on the calories. This came out to at least 2,000 calories. That was a conservative estimate with the 2,000. It was probably more, probably a lot more, but it was at least 2,000 by my estimate. If she had 2 to 3 packets of noodles and those 2 pizzas by my calculation. So it was a heck of a lot of calories. This was her big crazy meal. So now let's see her video where she justifies her behavior. Let me switch over.
Versus when I binge. Okay. So like last night, if I were to like have a binge,
sunflower seeds aren't bad by themselves. I'm trying to catch up on the comments here. Sunflower seeds aren't bad by themselves, but it's easy to overeat them. You know, that's the only thing. And if you're on a diet, especially if they're salted, that's probably not the best thing for her. Foodie needs to watch her calories, and sunflower seeds are very calorie dense. So if you eat a lot of them, it's just a lot of calories. That's all. Just like it's like eating chips or something. They're not bad to eat if you eat a few, but it's very easy to eat a lot. So that's my yeah, nothing wrong with sunflower seeds, by just in general.
I would have eaten the leftover pizza after maybe like another hour or so. And then I would have also justice for Celeste pizza. Then I would have also had like bread and labna, more noodles, more snacks. I would have eaten like a whole thing of chips, more than 1 bag probably. That's like a full-on like.
Now, Holly, I'll agree with you on that. That while I don't want to see Salah necessarily by himself, I like seeing the interactions with Foodie because they're so cringy. That's what I love. I love that awkward interaction between the two of them, that fake marriage interaction. That's
because like that was technically my second supper. Like I only had 1 meal that day, and it was like a healthy meal.
Gall, you had 2 pizzas.
Yes.
5 packs of noodles with cream and a bottle of juice at 1 a.m.
So I'm not excusing the noodles in the pizza. That's not healthy no matter what. But
look at it, Elisa.
And it was eating too much, like it was overeating, but it wasn't what I would consider a binge because especially since, like I just described,
her head has gotten so big, but in some shots, if her head looks small, then yeah, absolutely it would make her look weird. She has she uses so many filters, she looks really odd. Did she delete one of the binges? She deletes some of them. She might have. Psych librarian look with the glasses.
that's what a binge is like for me. Just like after eating a couple of meals for the day, whether they're healthy or not, going back into the kitchen late at night instead of sleeping and just eating whatever I can, candy bars. Like I said, I would probably make another couple of packs of noodles. Hi, Dora. Was the pizza? The pizza? No, they were pita pizzas I made. I could even show you. Hold on a second, okay? I have to show you.
That was the meal beforehand. She actually did 2 binges in the same day. She did a rice-a-roni where she made vermicelli, a pasta with rice, and that's where she had the 2 sticks of butter. And she made that with a baked chicken, which was fattening, but it wasn't like the worst thing in the world. Then she followed it up with the 2 packs of ramen noodles, maybe 3, and the pizzas. And I don't get what's up with these frozen pizzas. And she made these pizzas that look exactly like them. So all I can think is maybe that she had more of these than she originally said.
Loves pizza. I bought 2 of them. He had 1. This is his pizza. This is the leftover pizza.
And look how she's out of breath, just running to get the pizza and getting back and talking. She's already out of breath.
Still in the oven. I know. I forgot it there. After he's like, I'm not hungry for it. And, shortly after. And then this is
pretty
the
much.
difference. Okay, so this is way bigger.
Yep.
My pita pizzas. And this is like, I don't even like these. I don't know how he likes these. No offense. They are weird.
Oh, wow.
The taste to me is weird, but he likes them. So. But no, I didn't eat his pizzas. Like people think.
You know something? I thought they looked nasty too. When she cooked them, when they were fresh, they didn't look so bad, but they didn't look good either. They didn't look good. I'll agree with you on that. They didn't look appetizing to me. And in fact, let's look at them right now. Let's look at a picture of it. Here we go. Here's a picture of Foodie eating it. This is the meal in question. Yeah, she just sat here and ate this entire thing, and her argument was this is not a binge. Because she only had 2 packs of noodles. If she had more than 2, it would have been a binge. She only had 2 pizzas. If she had more than 2, then it would have been a binge. That's what she said. So, yeah.
So, I wouldn't consider this a binge.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
But it's an extra meal that's not healthy.
Rice-A-Roni's okay.
Although today all I had was...
Today all she had was what?
Chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice.
And a croissant.
And a croissant. All she had was chicken and rice and a croissant.
Oh yeah, and a whole bunch of sunflower seeds.
And the whole bunch of sunflower seeds. All right, the sunflower seeds are not bad by themselves, but the whole bunch is not good. And she's got food on her face. I'm not going to show the whole video because it's way too long, but she gets food all over her face.
You want to know what my brain tells me before eating something like this? It's just kind of the urge to eat stuff like this overpowers any survival instinct, anything like that.
I don't know. I think it was the ones in the package. They looked exactly like this. The ones that were in the package, as far as I could tell. So I don't know why she was. It's like she was trying to troll us because she made it look exactly the same as the ones in the packaging. So
hot pepper.
I don't know.
Oh, bitter.
Good point, Nirvana.
Pepper.
Foodie is absolutely a junk food junkie. It's the way she eats. She doesn't even care about taste half the time. You're right. What is a binge if this isn't an extra meal? If that's not a binge, then what is?
Like I always do, with the intention to make that the case. This is a last.
Oh, that's a good point. Those were supposed to be for Salah. And who eats noodles with pizza? She's out of breath just eating. And food is in her dreams. That's true. She makes up her dreams, but they're still about food.
I don't think I should buy these anymore. Who am I
Foodie
kidding?
thinks she shouldn't buy them. Okay, let's go back. Let's share this tab. Gonna stop this because that stuff there is.
I don't know about dieting, but
this is her video afterward where she defiantly says that it wasn't a binge and she argues basically with the chat. And this is supposed to be a woman who lost 30 pounds. Her glasses don't even sit on her ears. Look how the frames, these earpieces, they're up by her temple. They don't go down on her ears. And notice they don't sit on her nose. They sit on her cheeks. Her glasses sit on her cheeks and her temples rather than her nose and her ears.
Consider age restricting the video from last night. No. Why would I?
Remember this the next time she starts a video warning people that they might be triggered. It's all performative. She couldn't care less.
YouTube can do that if they feel it's necessary. No, I'm not proud of last night. There's nothing to be proud of. Actually, I guess I'm proud of the fact that I have the courage to come on here and be honest about things like that I struggle with, despite the complete. I have a lot of comments. The comments you see on my video, if they're there, it's because I find them valuable in some way, and I appreciate your opinion. But if they're, I have some filters, so they probably just filtered them, but I saw some also that were really.
Her audience, I read her comments. A lot of her own audience was not supportive of that second meal because it was just such a clear binge. Like even the people who want to lie to themselves and pretend that Foodie is doing anything for her health, even they couldn't deny that one. Like everybody
really,
called
really
it a binge.
nasty. You know, I find despite getting that reception like all the time, when especially at my most vulnerable,
Yes, she
I
is.
think that I'm kind of proud of that. But other than that, no, it's not. I didn't do it for any kind of reaction. I just did it because that's what I was going to do. And if anything, people have asked me to be forthcoming and honest and open and, about showing you guys what those hard moments look like for me. So yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's funny, Humpty Dumpty or Mrs. Potato Head. I can't decide who. Yeah, exactly. Mrs. Potato Head. Her glasses sit on her head more like Mrs. Potato Head. Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's a good word for the day. Bulbous. B-U-L-B-O-U-S. Bulbous. It's an adjective. And it means like rounded and swollen, like a bulb. So you could say something is bulbous. For example, Foodie's head is bulbous, using it in a sentence. She has a bulbous head. It swells up. It's all swollen and round. Bulbous. That's our word of the week. B-U-L-B-O-U-S. Hopefully you enjoyed that.
But I'm not buying it. I don't believe someone with BED would grab a camera and make content out of a bad episode.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Let me put the link to the channel here since I'm using their video. I always forget their name. I don't think so. I think they do great edits. They do very concise edits, but they don't cut out a lot. I really enjoy their edits.
Last night was a display of gluttony, nothing more.
Yep.
I don't know if
Foodie is a glutton. That's another thing. I call her Foodie because that's what she named herself, but she really is gluttony. She's not Foodie. She's gluttony. Because what is a foodie? Like, to be fair, I don't even really like the word foodie that much because I think that it can be used to excuse gluttony a lot of times. And it's not saying there's anything wrong with overeating on occasion. I overeat too often myself. But somebody who regularly overeats, it's easy to say, oh, I'm just being a foodie. But if you're overeating constantly, that's not a good thing.
I have any thoughts when I'm cooking the binge meal. I kind of purposely like zone out and just focus on. It's almost like autopilot appeal. It's like you don't think of the consequences at the moment. You just kind of brush them away so that what you're doing is easier. You don't have to really think about it, And honestly, like I hate.
That is a great point right there. And I don't know the full details of chicken pickle situation, so I don't want to get in the middle of that. But I will say, I know, for example, Skinny Queen's channel was demonetized over, I don't even know exactly what. A lot of that happens to a lot of creators, and Foodie seems to rarely get in any trouble. And so I saw somebody the other day say YouTube shouldn't allow her to put this kind of content up. On one hand, I kind of agree because I certainly don't like her monetizing this content. But as long as we're allowed to criticize it, I'm okay with it. But if people are getting their channel taken down for criticizing it, that's messed up. That doesn't make any sense. Like, then no, she shouldn't be allowed to put it up. If you're not allowed to criticize it, then she shouldn't be allowed to have it. As long as we're allowed to openly discuss something, I don't have a problem with other people discussing it. But when YouTube picks and chooses who's allowed to talk, that's when I start saying, well, that's when I get more concerned about what should happen there. As long as we're all allowed to speak, I'm okay with Foodie being allowed to say what she has to say, because I'll just explain why I think she's not doing anything good. Yeah, we all eat sometimes, but a binge is very different, right? She binges out.
I hate that people put the onus or responsibility of my health on my husband. It's like,
you're making things up now. No one is blaming him for your gluttony.
People don't really see how we interact about these things. I did say in my video, kind of like, it disappoints him, but like, it's my responsibility no matter what. No matter where I am in the world.
That's fair.
I binged harder in Canada. I feel like people look for any little negative thing that happens here and they say, see, they use that as like a C, you should be in Canada. When in reality, like, the real binging happened off camera. Like, in my car,
at this point, it is. At this point, I believe it is.
I have money to myself that, like.
Nice slip up, Foodie.
What I mean by money to myself.
That's so funny. She says, in Canada, I had money to myself. Did anybody else catch that? I love how no, I didn't think so. The channel caught that, but I caught that as well when she did that when I first saw this, where she said in Canada she had my own money. Why do you have your own money in Canada? Why don't you have your own money in Kuwait? Because you have to spend it all on supporting Salah?
Myself, as when you're married, you know each other's finances generally. But when I'm out of the country, I mean, I feel like I could get away with excusing things that I spend more, you know, almost kind of taking advantage of the fact that he doesn't really know a lot about how it works down there, like with the, you know, costs and things. And I feel bad for that. Like I guess it's a
What is that? Foodie cannot get it straight. She keeps trying. She, on one hand, she makes it sound like she's eating behind Salah's back, like Salah doesn't know that she's overeating. But then she basically eats right in front of him. He goes and gets her all the food. So how is it possible he doesn't know what she's eating if he's the one getting her the food? It doesn't make any sense. And also, he has eyes in his head. He can see that how much bigger she's gotten. It doesn't matter what he sees you eat if he sees you gaining over 100 pounds.
kind of a way of being like dishonest a bit. I don't know. Trust me, it's worse. It's worse when I'm over there by myself.
Well said, Nutty.
Oh, is he taking business calls at 1 p.m.? He does business with like, you know, like it's not like official, like serious business calls. You know,
Good.
People stay up really late here, and it's not like he was working. Like it's just like, you know, it's just like
Eugenia is just sad to see. I don't really talk about Eugenia much because I don't really watch her much, to be fair. But the little bit I've seen, it's just very, very sad because I saw a picture of her. She's a pretty girl, but she's put her body through so much abuse for no good reason. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see that, you know, this is the situation she's in.
like talking about business and stuff like that with like a friend, someone very close.
Right. How are you sure it wasn't K-Bella?
I did get professional help for
Yep.
binge eating disorder. Like I say that every time because I feel like people think that I haven't done anything, and there is a long history of like seeking medical care.
Oh, thank you,
But
Blue
there's
Eyes.
also like I need to keep looking. I need to keep
Foodie is so bad with that juice. That juice for her is like poison. Foodie needs to treat juice like poison because in her case it is. It's absolutely poison. It's making her gain weight even more than she already would be. That's why she's over 150 pounds up, because she takes every chance she can gain to gain extra weight.
trying to see what.
It's like she's trying to fatten herself up.
Successful strategy for me to beat this. So yeah,
No, they're not
working
going to
on that
change.
too.
Right now, you don't need the best strategy. You need any strategy.
He did that while you were eating because he didn't know I was doing it till after. I just said vaguely like, you know, I'm thinking of doing a video, and I was like,
Yep, right here, like right now, like she's talking about even. Exactly, Hannibal. Foodie keeps going back and forth where she doesn't want to admit that Salah is enabling her, but then she doesn't want to say that he's not supportive, so she has to keep going back and forth, saying, "Well, he's supportive, but he doesn't enable me." But blah 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 blah.
talking about I was thinking of doing a video, but he didn't know what kind of video. And then I saw he got a phone call, and I knew it would be a little while, so I thought, you know, maybe I will do the video. I don't know, because I saw like people like I've done a lot of like I've been open about this a lot, so you know I don't think it's like it shouldn't be a shock to like regular viewers. I think it's something that's totally normal that happens in life. I saw somebody leave a comment like, "You're just another Amber Lynn." Like, yeah, in the way that
That would be wild if that were true. I mean, I think it's possible.
we both have pretty much the same eating disorder. Yeah, for sure. And I realized that I think Amber Lynn and I are like the only ones who share the complete cycle on camera. The negative everything, and we get heavily criticized for it.
You mean for manipulating your audiences, disguising gluttony as mental health issues, and
Foodie, I love the state way they're saying it right here. Gluttony, Foodie's gluttony is gotten pretty
using
bad.
it as a sword.
So I think about
And she uses it as like I said, as a sword. What she does is she overeats on camera, she binges on camera, then she wants sympathy for, oh, I don't feel well, and oh, I have depression, and oh, I'm not happy, I don't feel like going out. But then she does everything she can to make herself feel bad.
all the time. Well, not all the time, but most of the time. I don't think we excuse it. Like, no, but like, how am I blaming others, Jen? I don't think I'm blaming anyone. I fully say in my videos, I want to take responsibility for that. I don't blame anyone else. I also
She's trying to go back and forth because she doesn't want to admit that Salah is enabling her. But it seems like he is. He brings her the food, but she wants to make it sound like, oh no, he's actually trying to help me lose weight. Does he even live there? Good question. Good question. Yeah, Amber's got a lot of other issues, but she's not ugly. That's you know, I won't say that. Yeah, the fake victim stuff is Foodie loves to be the victim. She does everything she can to make herself into the victim.
Is that like people really just shoo binge eating disorder, the severity of it, under the rug. When it comes to like, for example, anorexia, people have no problem being like, you know, this is very serious, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like they treat other eating disorders.
Okay, I thought this is the part of the video I really liked, and I wanted to get to this. And then very appropriate that people have brought up Eugenia Cooney. Foodie says here, oh, well, people treat anorexia seriously. They don't treat binge eating seriously. They don't treat obesity seriously. I don't think she uses the word obesity, but they don't treat obesity seriously. They don't take it seriously like they do anorexia. Well, Foodie, I mean, I don't feel like going through one of your videos right now, but any one of them, if you haven't deleted all the comments, most of them are basically telling you what? Foodie, take your health seriously. Take your health seriously. Take your diabetes seriously. Take your intake of food seriously. Everything is telling Foodie to do what? Be more serious. Take her health seriously. And she's going to sit here with a straight face, or maybe not a straight face, but a screwed up face, and tell us that well, the clinic doesn't take binge eating seriously. Well, neither do you, Foodie. So how the heck can they take it seriously if you don't, and it's your life on the line?
Known and more documented than like binge eating disorder is just now, I find in the recent years starting to, like, for example, when I went to the binge eating clinic, they didn't even have a program for like binge eating and in the way of like really.
You know, well then, Foodie, why didn't you help them start their program? You would have been a perfect person to do it. As somebody with a YouTube channel, even you could have said, you know what? I'll help you. They didn't turn you away. They didn't say, oh, we don't have a program, we can't help you. They said, hey, well, maybe we don't have a program, but we can still help you. They treated her. They gave her some kind of therapy. They sent her to a therapist, and they gave her medication, which at the time, the only medication they had, I believe, was stimulant-based medication. They didn't really have the Ozempic and the semaglutide. I forgot all the names for all of it. But they didn't have all the hormone-based medicines available then. So they even gave her medication, a strong medication, and she did not go back. She didn't bother refilling the medicine. She didn't bother going to the doctor, and she's going to complain they didn't take it seriously enough. Hard to believe, Foodie. Very hard to believe.
How to deal with obesity, kind of, you know, like I just feel like it's just kind of seen as more trivial, like not as taken as serious. Maybe not, it shouldn't be used to justify, but it, in a way, yeah, because like it's, how do I say it? It's a reason. It's a reason why these things happen.
Good point, Queen of
binge
Awesome.
eating is a serious mental health disorder. Google. All you have to do is Google binge eating disorder is a serious mental health condition.
Everybody. And then what does she do? She complains. She says, leave me alone. Leave me alone. It's not a big deal. So what if I overeat sometimes? Why? Other people, when they overeat, you don't give other people a hard time when they eat something. Why do you give me a hard time? Just because I'm fat? It's fat phobia. That's what that is. Foodie, you're so full of crap. If I wish, you know, I take that back. I wish you were full of crap, because then you can go to the bathroom and really lose 30 pounds.
And I think that we're seen as like weak and pathetic every time we cave in. And I definitely think that's, you know, that's the case. And if people want to like villainize me for that and say, oh, you just can't control yourself. You're just a pig. Then that's how you see me. That's fine. But I'm just going to tell you how it actually is in my case. And believe me or not, I can't control it.
And that was a long time ago. So she has not been back. She has not been back to any clinic in a long time, as far as we know. So it's a great point, Annabelle. She wants to talk about how the program doesn't take it seriously. That was what, like 6 years ago now? Maybe not 6, but it was years ago now that she went to that clinic. And they did treat her. As much as she wants to say they didn't take it seriously, it seems like they did. Yeah, and she says, oh, you're bullying me. You're being fat phobic. I thought that people weren't taking it seriously, Foodie.
So stigma, that's the word I was looking for, Kelly. More vile stigma against BED, yes. Especially if the people are like super obese. It's seen as, you know, I feel like binge eating, like in obesity, are not seen as eating disorders. Taylor said she doesn't have BED. I've heard her say she has BED. I didn't know I had BED. Like even.
That's right. I remember that now. They told her not to do the mukbangs. And she's like, well, I don't want to, I can mukbang healthy food. That's what I can do. She remember when she used to say that? She's like, well, I can just mukbang healthy food. Speaking of mukbanging healthy food, actually, I thought that might be fun, like kind of as a gag, but just semi-serious. Next time I like to get some protein bars, and next time I get some protein bars, I'll eat one of the protein bars, and I'll like just chat for a minute and about what I think of the protein bar, and just do like a little video, just for the heck of it. I thought it might be funny, do like a little mukbang while I eat a protein bar, like an actual healthy mukbang. Exactly, Fiona's mom. A lot of people struggle with a lot of stuff, and I have sympathy. I absolutely do. I understand that some people they struggle a lot, and you know it can impact people even well into adulthood, all their life even. But you gotta work on resisting what you know is wrong. Like Foodie says, oh, it's not a moral failing to have binge eating disorder. It's not a failing to have the disorder. But if you just give into it every chance you get, and you enable it every chance you get, and you're a glutton as well, then that's a moral failing to be a glutton. To have a disorder, and resist it and not be able to, that happens. But to just give up and just give into it, that's different. So let's let this play.
Like when I first started YouTube, I thought that about myself. I just like to eat. Like I never really knew what was wrong with me. I didn't care. Oh yeah, I don't get the urge to binge on healthy food whatsoever. I see binge eating disorder as a more.
There you go. She doesn't get the urge to binge on healthy food. Ding, 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 ding. Foodie. Do what I do when you want to diet. Fill the house with healthy food. And then when you get really hungry, you're going to go looking around for something to eat, and you're just not going to find anything to eat except healthy stuff. And if you're hungry enough, you'll eat that. And if you're not hungry, you'll just say, well, you know what? I'm just not going to eat right now. I'm just going to wait and just not eat today, or not eat now, not eat for the moment. And that's what you have to do. You can't fill the house with sweets and snacks and then complain like, oh, I only eat, what's available.
Of a privileged eating disorder. See, anorexia is actual mental healthy illness disorder. They're both mental illness disorders.
No way.
No way. How do you want me to own my own mess? Like, I don't know, like, what am I not taking responsibility for? Giving into a binge is not something that's a moral defect. That's what you're not getting.
So now you're calling it a binge after all?
That's why you think these
I
things.
think she's closer to 5. I think Foodie is closer to 5 at this point, because she was around 350 when she went to Kuwait, 360, somewhere around there. We don't know exactly, but that's the estimate. Mid to high 3s. I'm sure she's gained over 100 pounds since then, probably 140, 150. So just doing the math, that comes out to right around 500.
Stigma towards binge eating disorder, because people think that not caving in to the food is some kind of moral personality defect, and it's not. Most of the time, it's like beyond your control. My way of taking responsibility would be to find a proper path of recovery, like take it seriously. Yes, for sure. And
she talks about how it's not a moral failing to give in. It's a moral failing when you stop trying to do better, when you just give up. Giving in, and when you the word give in is multi-layered. We'll say if you fail, it's not a moral failing to fail, but it's a moral failing to quit. It's moral failing to just quit trying to help yourself. That's a moral failing. You got to try to help yourself. If you don't succeed, that happens sometimes, but you can't just give up. You can't give up and then act like, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with giving up.
That I agree with, sure.
Well, there you go. Then in your own words, you are not taking responsibility.
Binge eating is not a choice, YouTube lover. No, nobody. So like, you think that people choose to have this problem?
Oh, no problem.
No. People don't choose diseases. I've been Jersey girl. This is where people don't know. Like, I've been to therapy countless times. And how do you know I'm not? Like, I literally started therapy in Canada, and I have resources to continue.
That is such great advice, Nirvana. And I advise that for anybody. Anybody, take Nirvana's tip here. If you're trying to diet, you're trying to avoid junk food, like literally avoid the junk food. Don't be around it. Just don't be around it. It's the same thing somebody would do if they wanted to not drink. And sometimes it's not possible because you might have family members, or you might have coworkers, you might have friends. But as much as possible, limit your exposure to that stuff that you know you're going to eat without thinking to. Like if I have cookies, even if I'm not hungry, I'm just going to grab one if I'm in the kitchen, just because I like them too much. So you have to limit access to some things if you want to keep your weight down sometimes.
Be here that I don't really want to make these things public and talk about them publicly. I think it's healthier for me to keep certain things like that aside. But like, how do you know I'm not? Like
100%, Denise. Everybody. Chantel acts like everybody has it so easy, and some people will naturally put on weight more easily than others, but everybody has to at least do a little bit of maintenance on their health, whether for weight reasons or whether for other reasons, and whether it's eating or activity or whatever. A lot of people could just give up on their appearance and give up on their health and not look as good as they do. But Chantel just completely gives up on herself, and she just thinks everybody else must be the same. She wants a magic pill. Absolutely. And Foodie, if somebody gave her the choice and said, Foodie, you could either go on, if you went on a diet, I guarantee you would lose this weight in over the course of, say, 2 years, or you could just continue to eat whatever you want and you'll just stay big. She would just keep eating. She wouldn't want to actually, if she was like, well, I have to stop eating, like I can't eat if I want to lose the weight, well, then screw that. No, I'm not doing that.
I don't make my binges public. I don't consider what I had last night to be a binge. So it's not a binge. I have no problem with making binges public for like educational purposes.
You don't, but YouTube TOS does.
Glorifying it.
No problem making them public for educational. She is so all over the place. She's saying, one, well, I don't binge on camera because my binges are private. When I binge, it's private. So if I videotape it, it's not a binge. And now she says, well, I don't mind making my binges public if it's for educational purposes. I thought these weren't binges. Make up your mind, Chantel. And if these aren't binges, then what? Then when are you eating? Is that your secret to losing 30 pounds?
No, but like I've said many times, Muk-Bangs, what I ate yesterday, it's not a binge, and that's like binging is personal. It's what I ate last night could be a catalyst for a binge later. Luckily, last night it wasn't.
A catalyst for a binge later. Her second dinner at 1:30 a.m. could have been a catalyst for a binge later. How late were you gonna? It could have caused you to eat a third dinner? Is that what you were? Yeah. It could have caused me to eat dinner number 3. Now that would have been the binge. Dinner 3 would have been the binge. But dinner 2, no, that was a scheduled meal.
You can see I didn't even eat the third pizza.
Didn't even eat the third pizza, right? It's not a binge till you have 3 pizzas. 2 pizzas is not a binge. Chantel's rules for life.
What it does to your brain, like it's like almost like a panic mode. It's all you can think about, and all that food is there. You know, you have access to it, and you can make that nagging compulsion go away. So it usually wins. If,
I heard that
for sure. I mean, obviously,
I heard they locked it up at night because she was stealing all the food. If that's what you got to do, it's what you got to do. It sounds crazy, but it worked.
Then stop having noodles and pizzas lying around your house. You said it yourself that you don't binge on healthy foods.
YouTube, in my opinion, monetizes worse. It monetizes a lot of hate channels, which in my opinion are worse. So I'll see you guys in the next
diet is a loaded word for some people. I personally don't mind. I personally find the word diet, I don't attach any stigma to it personally, but some people they it triggers a lot of negative feelings and they have very negative associations with it. They think of it as a temporary thing. So yeah, for some people, it's much better to think of things differently. So I do believe in positive self-talk and I believe in visualization. I believe that does matter. So, use the terminology that works best for you.
Use or whatever. Thanks for listening to me as usual. Bye guys.
That could have triggered a binge. That wasn't a binge. That was dinner 2. Who's really affected, Susie Q? Canadian citizens. Because that's when you have socialized healthcare, everybody covers the cost of everybody else's health. So if one person is choosing to be so unhealthy, everybody else is kind of stuck to foot the bill. And I'm not saying that Chantel is unique. She is not the only person who's unhealthy. She's not the only person choosing to be unhealthy. But when she says things like, oh, well, my health doesn't affect anybody else, if she was paying for her own health care, she could make that argument a little bit better. But when she's using Canadian taxpayers to pay for her health care, it's not really true that nobody else is being affected, right? Salah's being affected too, but she's also affecting those Canadian citizens. So, but yeah, I mean, she likes to think that, but I get you, Susie. She changes the words. Totally not a binge, exactly. I'm glad he said it because I'm not Canadian. I can't say it, right? But I believe it. Shaking my head. I get you, Blas. Okay, let's break up the foodie content with something foodie related. I got some foodie related content that I think is very funny. We got Kween Heathah here. Let me actually stop sharing for a second. Hold on. Put on the video. All right, here. All right, so Kween Heathah. Does everybody remember who Kween Heathah is? She is Tarot Kween Heathah. She is a wild lady from New York. She is a big fat woman. She is bound to in her room. She can't leave her room. She is totally obsessed with any man who talks to her. What's her deal? Okay, she weighs like 500 plus pounds. She's bound in her room. She will get a restraining order on anybody who contacts her. She accuses every man of assaulting her. She stalks every man that she meets. She is like a like a sex addict. Like she always wants to have sex with every guy like she meets. All she talks about immediately. She puts herself on Chatterbait. She doesn't know anything about tarot. Yes, I'm not an expert on tarot, but people who know more than me have all said that she's a complete fraud with the tarot. Yeah, she is able to get out of her room occasionally. The reason she's room bound is there's a step. There's a step, and she doesn't like to take the steps. So she needs somebody to help her get up the step or something like that. And nobody in her family, I think nobody in her family wants to help her get up the step. I think that's what it is. They want her to stay in her room. Yeah, and she was basically hiding off camera. She eats a lot. And she goes up from Foodie Beauty on steroids, in a sense. Yeah, and she cycles up and down like her mood. Like she'll go from being like very friendly and apologetic to going completely off the charts. She will go completely off the and she'll get very vulgar and nasty. I don't really know her full story, to be fair. Like it's been a while since I've watched her. But let's watch a bit. Let's see what she has to say. You know, let's let her speak for herself, right?
Yes.
All right.
So if you make one more comment on my page, Sal and Chantal, under the screen name Trophy Wife, I'm gonna report.
Yeah, and she goes all over the place. Like she will come across as really sweet and nice one minute, and then she'll be really vile and nasty the next. So it's really tough to so just take anything she says with a grain of salt, and just be aware that she can flip on you like that. She will like look at MusicBizMarty, and hat tip to MusicBizMarty. He's actually the one who alerted me that she's back on the internet. And let me give a link to this channel here. This is not Marty's channel. This is a different channel that I got this video from. But yeah, she is just really capable of getting really nasty, like with Marty, where she said she loved him and she wanted to meet him. And then when she learned he had a girlfriend, she started like threatening his girlfriend. Then when he said he wasn't interested in her, she accused him of assaulting her and called the police on him, tried to get him arrested. She just is a nut. She is a nut. So let's see a little bit about her. So anyway, apparently Foodie Beauty came into her chat. Sala and Chantel. Apparently Foodie Beauty came into her Chatterbait chat. Oh no, this is YouTube. Excuse me. This isn't Chatterbait.
Your page is for harassment because you're saying anti-Semitic things against Jewish people. That's your karma, bitch.
So anyway, so she's angry at Foodie because she's claiming that Foodie is anti-Semitic.
Report your page is for harassment because you're saying anti-Semitic things against Jewish people. That's your karma, bitch. Punishment. Anti-Semitic women with a fake marriage. Yeah, right.
They get thirsty, Eliza.
It's disgusting. Why are you so threatened by me, Chantal?
You think she's in New York? Really? She has such a New York accent. I don't know. I think she said she's in Long Island, but I don't know what part of New York she's actually in, but she has like the most New York accent. But hopefully everybody can see the chat really clearly.
Sala, what the fuck? Virgin? Is that supposed to hurt me? I've had plenty of men, but she's
had plenty of men. This is a woman who is so thirsty that she literally has a restraining order against her from the guy that she claims is her true love. He has a restraining order against her. That's how thirsty she is.
Sharmuta, Chantal.
The Empress of Long Island.
So shut the fuck up.
Oh no, she is from Long Island. We should call her the Empress of Long Island, though. That would be a good name for her, the Empress of Long Island.
You're so jealous of me. It's disgusting. Because I have hair. I have nice full head of hair.
Yeah, look at this. Foodie's jealous of Heather. She's jealous of Heather's beautiful hair.
What the fuck do you have?
Yeah, what you got? She's gonna steal. She will steal.
I'm coming for you.
You know he likes those big, beautiful women. You know he likes the ones who will. He likes them big.
And
this one allegedly, I think she likes to poop. I'm not sure. I think she's into pooping.
This is harassment. You started with me on my birthday by pretending to be a man from my past, Chantal. Bitch, you are upset.
She is. I want to say she's in her mid-20s to late 20s. Yeah, I have a bit of a New Jersey accent myself, so I can relate, Empress Chavin. When I get upset, my New Jersey accent comes out just a little bit. I try to stay polite though.
That's with me. You watch all my fucking videos. I didn't put your name in the title.
I don't know how she got to 500, but she's been 500 for a long time. She's a bit delusional. She was talking the other day about how she was showing a picture of her from when she was much younger, saying, "Oh, I'm going to get back down to this weight. I was only 200 pounds there, and I was very in good shape there." And agreed, she was in better shape than she is now, but she's only 5'2", and 200 pounds at 5'2" is still relatively heavy. But I mean, but she looked better. I'll say that she looked a lot better.
Thanks, Alice Minjin. Well, it's probably one of her fake accounts, Tommy. Chantel, shut the fuck up, bitch. Like, you're so obsessed. You, like, pretend to be something from my past. You've been bothering me for months. Wait till I write YouTube tonight.
Cat fight or hog
fake
fight. They're in the
fucking
slop
accounts.
together.
You have nothing better to do. If you're so happy in your marriage, why would you go on YouTube and harass people? Like, if I was happily married, which I'm single, but if I was happily married, I wouldn't be playing on YouTube, except to make money. So what the fuck are you doing? Tommy says Chantel is an animal abuser. Yes, she is. Yes, you are, Chantel. You're a fucking animal abuser. The fuck,
geez,
bitch? What do you want from me?
Only 30. You're a young thing, Queen. I know the average age in this chat, according to YouTube, is like mid-40s. So
you're upset because I can actually make content. I can actually play piano and make paintings and have talents.
She's big. Oh, speaking, what is with all the locals playing piano? Why is she and Salah play piano? I play a little piano. Does that make me a mess? I hope not.
Smoke and drink and eat. Ooh, so interesting.
Yeah. Could you? I bet you. I thought you said I doubt she had any returns, and I was like, it's possible to return sex, because if it is, then Chantel is out of luck if you can get a return on sex. I don't think you're allowed to do that though.
Like, I'm choosing not to have a husband.
No, I know what you mean. Returns. I don't think she's had any men. To be fair, if she did, it was like a random hookup. But she confessed to Marty or somebody that she's never had a boyfriend, a real boyfriend. You know, I don't want to presume anything, but she implied that she's never known a man.
Husband, you're so pathetic. You gotta pay a man to love you.
Yeah, she's very short too.
Oops.
She's built like Foodie.
So shut the fuck up. Hey guys, I realized the truth that you people have all been.
Yep.
Chantel, you've been like trolling me.
She's got some
I
big
should
arms.
put you on fucking.
She has got the big arms. She has like the HFC type arms. She's very top heavy in the arms. She's not top heavy in any other way, but she's very arm heavy.
Catfish, like you'd be so embarrassed.
But anyway, yeah. So basically, Chantel is coming at her, and I'm letting you folks read it for yourself. But basically, this Chantel in the chat is basically just talking crap to her.
You see how if I have cello covers, it doesn't want to go away.
And the people in the chat are egging her on, of course, saying Chantel's an animal abuser.
Back. Yay, welcome back. I'm contacting YouTube at her channel tonight, especially the anti-Semitic stuff against Jewish people. I take personal offense. I'm Jewish. I have a star.
It's okay.
On right now, but I have a Star David necklace. So really, you want to fucking start with me? That was the dumbest fucking.
I'll tell you right now, she's in person. I've got a feeling that she would get very loud until you got close enough to touch her, and then she would immediately back down because she knows that she's too weak to fight anybody. Like, cause she's so out of shape, she can't even carry her. She can't even move. She can't even stand up without getting out of breath. So she wouldn't be able to stand up to anybody even if she wanted to. She just isn't fit enough. Yeah, I agree with that, Hannibal. And she's crazy. And she's crazy. It's bad enough, you know. Yeah, she's heavy, she's big, but there are some guys who like really big women. They exist, but they don't want to deal with some craziness like this. I don't know, Nirvana, but it does seem like the average height is really short with most of these crazy ladies. They do seem to be very short on average. Like their average height is like 5'1".
The movie ever made. Because I'm a rat bitch. I will fucking do it. It's
some
just
big old
crazy
guns.
what she said and got away with up to now. And just so you know,
Queen of Awesome, I'm pretty sure it's a troll. I'm pretty sure it's a fake, but it might as well be real because they sound just like Chantel.
oh Chantel, half of Hollywood is Jewish. So the fact that you said that, you just screwed the you dumbass. Wow. All the lawyers, all the entertainment people, half of them are Jewish.
That's a good point. That is a good point, Queen of Awesome. I remember that when they were talking the other day about how, she was saying FFG threatened to assault me. She threatened to assault me, and she's stalking me. She threatened to assault me. Then when they actually met up in person, they were just like, oh, hey, yeah, what's up? And they just kind of said hi, and that was it. And I'm not saying they should have fought. Not at all. I'm not saying they should have fought. In fact, I think it was good they didn't fight. The last thing they need to do is fight over some internet BS. But they should stop acting like, but Foodie in particular should stop acting like she was going to fight if when she gets the chance, she's not going to do anything. And stop acting like you're scared somebody's going to attack you if when you actually met her, she never attacked you. So don't say that you're scared that FFG is stalking you if when she actually does meet you, you don't run away. You didn't see FFG and say, oh my God, she's going to hit me and run away. You stood there. You weren't scared at all. So don't pretend now that you're scared. I can't stand that.
That's a better religion than anybody else. But damn, you know who you're fucking with. Chrissy Stewart says she calls FFG a goblin every chance she gets, even me after told how it's been bad.
You know what? I think I don't know if there's that many, but I think that they're all very prolific. I think there's maybe like 70, 80 guys who have had sex with every one of these women. I think all 80 of them have all had sex. I think there's there's only maybe like 80 or 100 feeders, but I think they've all had sex with every woman in the community. Maybe that's how it works. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right? Peter Beauty says Chantal is just grouchy because she
can't leave the room because there's a stair, and nobody in her family wants to help her get up over the stair.
Dying and her Uber Eats delivery is late. Yeah.
Yes.
There's more to life.
Yes, Susie Q, she does. But I think this is a fake. But I mean, it does look the same, but I'm pretty sure it's a fake.
Food. I just had a great dinner. Like I had brisket with rice pudding, but it was all made with healthy stuff.
Good point, Nutty.
Love you too, Peter Beauty. Love you, Queen.
And that's another thing too, is being more weight. If it's muscular weight, if it's being taller, yeah, more weight can help you in a fight. Absolutely. But if it's all flab, it doesn't really help. It just makes you get tired faster. I mean, even having more muscle only helps so much. So yeah, you don't want to just be bigger in a fight. And I think some of these big gals, they misunderstand. They think just because they're so big that it gives them more power, but it's not an advantage in a fight.
Okay.
Not unless you fall on somebody.
Do I need to get you locked up? Under what circumstances, Sala and Chantal?
They could.
Ooh, I'm so fucking scared. You know what's gonna happen to you, Chantal? You're gonna end up.
I wish, in a way, I almost wish they would, because I think that this kind of online anger is unhealthy. I think it'd be better if people were just kind of like, if people could put their differences aside at the end of the day and not get personal. I think that would be better. Although I will say sometimes some people are very disgusting, like when there's kids involved, like that Shanae lady and stuff. Like some people can get, like every now and then it can get to the point where I can see why, or like if there's an animal involved or something. So I guess that's a different subject. So I don't know. It gets complicated. I'll leave it at that.
Saying the wrong fucking thing in Kuwait. You know what they do to people in Kuwait? Take a fucking guess. Think about it.
It does feel like a profile.
Shut the fuck up while you're ahead. You're going to lose your channel. You're going to lose your channel. You're stupid. You mess with the wrong person. The fact that you're anti-Semitic against Jewish.
It's kind of sad, but it also just goes to show how difficult she is as a person, because she lives with family. Somebody could help her get out of her room. But I think partly it's that she doesn't want to leave her room. I think that is as well, because she could get someone to help her up the step. I think that she doesn't want to leave her room, and she uses that as an excuse, at least partly.
People, I'm calling up YouTube on Monday here in the States.
Yeah, and this is just so funny watching her complain about it. And what Hannibal said earlier, Heather, I don't know what's in her heart. I don't know what kind of person she is, But at least as far as language, she's used plenty of language that's against YouTube terms of service, racial language, other kinds of religiously offensive. I don't know exactly what words she's used, but I know that some of them have been in violation of terms of service. So if she's going to talk all that mess about reporting Foodie for violating terms of service, well, then you better go report yourself, Heather, because you're no better.
You're getting your channel deleted, stupid. Malioko time, tell me all right. Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing she does. She screams out Malioko. She puts curses on people. That's how sick she is. And she believes that they work. And I'm not going to say whether they work or not, because I hope they don't. I don't think they do. I don't think she has any special powers. But I do believe that that's a sign of very bad character. To put curses on people, that you want to hurt people with black magic. I'm not saying that I believe in black magic, but the mentality of somebody who tries to put a black magic curse onto somebody, that's a messed up person in the head. That's a messed up person in the head. Anybody who's trying to put a black magic curse on somebody. And she does that. Like she's trying to do that with Marty.
Just shut the fuck up while you're ahead. You're stupid. I don't care that's your livelihood. I don't give a shit. You don't speak out against Jewish people. A lot of people died in that tragedy. It's just like the same thing, except what you're gonna side with the people that did 9/11? Oh, same thing that you said that about the Jewish people.
Oh, Skinny goes to Bible study on Wednesday night now. That's why she's not able to make the lives. But she, you know, she and I, we still talk sometimes. I go visit her show sometimes. So yeah, Skinny's doing really well. At least last I spoke with her.
Well, same fucking thing. And even though 9/11 was worse, it's still just as bad. So who the fuck are you, Chantal?
No, I respect
You're
that,
sicko.
Empress Chavanin. You know, there's nothing. There's no need for women to be violent, and there's very rare, and men really shouldn't need to be violent either. You know, unless something crazy is happening. But violence in general people should try to avoid it.
You need a psychiatric evaluation, you need medication, and you have a fake marriage.
I think
you're going to end up dying.
Heather, I've never got a good look at Heather's body. To be fair, I've never seen her like below the shoulders. She only ever films herself from like the neck up. I think maybe I once saw a picture of her body, but it was so long ago I couldn't say how big she really is. I think she's around 500. She's big though. Like she's as big as Foodie is now. Like Foodie might now finally be bigger than her. That's how big she is. Like Foodie was not as big as her for a while.
Dying of a heart attack because you're eating 500 million calories a day.
Yes.
Rice.
Yes. Her mouth. She could sound like Naked and Laughing. That is who she sounds like. When she gets nasty, she sounds like Naked and Laughing. Just all kinds of vile, vulgar stuff. So she has no business talking about somebody else talking bad.
Fried food, soda. You're diabetic, stupid. You can't drink regular
Good
soda.
for you, Jess.
You have diabetic coma. You want diabetic coma now? You're gonna get it. Trust me. All that adds up. All those numbers of 500 blood sugar. I'm diabetic. I know, but my
respect
sugar.
Queen of Awesome. You know, we all do. Well, I shouldn't say we all, but a lot of people have done stuff they're not proud of at some point. As long as you move on, you grow from it. That's a good place to be.
They're controlled because I don't eat like that. Leave me alone.
Yeah, she does. She really does.
I don't know what your point is, like to try to get me off YouTube.
No worries.
Because you're harassing me. That's not gonna be the fucking case. So I'll send a cease and desist letter. I'll get a restraining order on your ass.
Absolutely.
Don't even think about coming to America because your ass will be locked up. I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
silver bracelets, bitch. You need a day with silver bracelets. That.
All right, so let me actually put on a little bit of another segment. This is actually all of this run a little bit longer.
The fuck up. I know how to respect people.
It's funny.
I'm not anti-Semitic and racist like you are, Chantal.
That she's talking that, you know, it's so funny that out of all the lines, I wasn't even going to bring it up because I didn't think it was relevant, but for Heather to start talking about, oh, you're racist, you're anti-Semitic, be careful. You say all kinds of horrible stuff too. You say all kinds of nasty stuff about everybody's race and ethnicity, Heather. So how are you going to start complaining now about somebody else talking like that? She is such a hypocrite. She is such a hypocrite.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't remember exactly what she said or when she said it.
Stupid husband.
A lot of crazy stuff.
At least I don't need a husband to survive. I choose to be single. How do I know all these accounts have been screwing with me? Oh.
She chooses to be single, right?
She claims
she chooses to be single. That's why she even hit on Cyrax at one point. I think she did hit on Cyrax.
She cured her diabetes years ago, but all she did was stop acknowledging it. Yeah, you can't. They'll catch up to you. Your feet will have pins and needles, and then get cut off. Your hands, your fingers. Diabetes is a killer. You are not Jewish? Oh my God! Wow, what an ignorant old hag.
All right, I have another clip.
Yes,
I have another clip of Heather where she talks to her her twin flame, her true boyfriend, her love, her big love. And welcome into anybody who I missed, by the way, if I missed anyone coming into chat, and welcome into anybody watching the replay. Very much appreciated. Please hit that like button if you're enjoying the show, and please click that subscribe bell if you'd like to see more of this content. It helps out the channel very much. Thank you very much. Good night, Nancy. Hope you're having a good night, and see you around. Thank you for coming in. Yes, and welcome in, Jess, and welcome into anybody I missed, by the way. When was this? This Heather video? This Heather video was the end of last year. I have something that I don't know exactly when it was, but it's a little bit funnier. She should have, but Heather's not the most technologically advanced. You stupid husband. You and your stupid husband, Foodie. They're so hypocritical. Well, Heather is not choosing to be single. She is not. She stalks every man she meets. So she is not choosing anything. Welcome in, Skinny Queen. People were just asking about you. Hopefully you're having a good night. The video she made for Marty. That's actually what we were just about to watch, Kelly. At least what I think what we're about to watch. Let me pull it up. This is actually from Marty's channel. I'll post a link to Marty's channel for anybody who's interested. Anybody who's interested, here's a link to Marty's channel. He does some content that is, sometimes it gets a little bit risque. I'll just say it like that. A little bit rough. So anybody who gets easily triggered, you may not enjoy it. But if you want to, but if you like more off the wall type stuff, feel free to check him out. There's the link to his channel. So here is the recent Marty video. This is the one that I thought was really funny.
Yes, Heather Kona met James.
Can you folks hear
in
it?
a hot body contest. Okay, here we go. Yes, you know, just seeing the look on her face here kind of sketches me out a little bit. So I think I'm going to have another beverage. But
you know, folks, I often
good morning.
Choosing to be, nothing wrong with choosing to be single. If you're happy as you are, be happy as you are. If you want to be in a relationship, be in a relationship. But don't be in a relationship just because you don't want to be. Just because you feel like you need to be in one. That's not healthy. Don't ever be in that situation where you feel like you're forced to be into one, or like, oh, I need to get married because my friends are getting married, or I need to don't fall for that. But don't pass up a good thing either. I made that mistake where I've passed up a good woman because I was young and I was immature, and I was like, oh, well, plenty more where she came from.
Morning, afternoon, YouTube. How you doing? How you doing? It's your girl, Heather. Okay, so this is totally going to be a story time. I have to admit to something. First, I would say, God bless everybody.
That is not Marty. This is Marty's channel. Oh, that picture was not of Marty. The picture of the guy up a minute ago. That was Marty's. That's a picture Marty likes to use. I'm not sure exactly who that is, but it's not Marty. But this is a video Heather made for Marty.
Everybody for watching. I love you guys, my family here on YouTube. And if you want, please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. What else? If you want to donate for my charity, I am going to be doing an Amazon wish list after this video to give to homeless shelters, animal shelters, and food banks. Okay.
Well, I hope so, Nutty. We'll see. You never know.
Let's get to the down to brass taxes over here. I'm in love with someone really bad.
She's in love with someone. This is the one who chooses. She chooses to be single. Let's keep that in mind. She chooses to be single.
The guy that's in the videos, someone new. It's MusicBizMarty. I am crazy about.
That's not a bad tip. I'll tell you right. You know something, to be fair, know what it is you want. If you want somebody who's got a lot of money, marry somebody with a lot of money. If you're not going to be happy with somebody, if that's what makes you happy, that's what you should marry. If you want somebody who looks really attractive, if you want somebody who's really tough, figure out what you want. If you want somebody who's really tall, you want whatever it is you want, get that. Figure out what that is and have that. Because if you get what other people say you should want, or you get what other people want, get what you want. Don't get what somebody else thinks you should want.
Like, I love him so much. Like, I wouldn't have this attention without him because I was always on his panel. He made me who I was.
She is funnier. That's why I was glad to get Heather on tonight. I wanted to do some Chantel content because I feel like, because I'm still waiting I still want to see Salah again. She's keeping me hungry for Salah, and I thought the 30-pound fake weight loss was funny. And I also thought the mukbangs were good. But Heather is more interesting as a character. She's a funnier character.
Like, he's such a good guy. He went to
yes, mouse toes.
fight Cyrax because he was disrespectful to me.
Did you hear that? Marty fought Cyrax not because of he and Cyrax having a feud for years, not because he wanted content for his channel. No, it was because Cyrax disrespected Kween Heathah. He disrespected her, and he stood up for her good name. That's what it was. Yeah, right. And anybody just coming in, this is Kween Heathah. I did a little intro on her earlier. This is her a video of her addressing Marty with some added commentary from Marty. I got this from his channel directly, so shout out to Marty.
Correct.
What else? He saved my life on his stream because I was
I got you.
not feeling so good, and I'm not gonna spell it out for you, but it's not good. And I was gonna do something bad, and he saved my life. I mean, I understand if he doesn't want to love me back, but I know he's my twin flame.
Yep.
Yes, he is. Yes,
Nirvana, that is a great
1,000%.
question. She is this Heather. This is why I'm almost scared that I'm making a video on her, because if she sees that I made a video on her and the fact that I didn't immediately attack her and go off on her, she might try to start chasing after me. And she's like a sex assaulter. Like, she will send you naked pictures and stuff. Like, she is crazy.
And then he tells me
I
last
understand,
night,
Heather.
that I had a dream about you last night. So I visited him with twin flames.
Well, so I actually remember this dream. It was one of two dreams. It was at the place that I previously lived. I started getting knocks on the door, and this is atypical, but without looking, I opened it. She kind of barged her way in, and
this is Marty describing a dream he had about Heather.
She just wouldn't leave, and there was nothing I could do to get her to leave. It was twin flame. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember I was hitting over the head with pots and cans, and nothing would get her to budge. She was indestructible. And I told her, I was screaming, just go away, just go away, just go away.
Right?
But you know what that means, love.
Astrally.
I do have a public email, but that's the only one I have public. I do have a public email with Dr. Phil on it, but I have a private email elsewhere, but that is totally unrelated. But that's for bills and stuff. So good luck getting a hold of me through there anyway.
I visited him because I'm alive. That's what twin flames do. You visit each other's dreams.
Yeah, you visit each other's dreams. That's what you do. She visited his dreams.
He's my other half. I love him. I love you, Marty. I'm not going to say your real name and dox you, but.
Oh, and her name is Heather Colonna. I'm not doxing her. Her name is already out there.
And we had some fun together, if you know what I mean.
I'll say this. If anybody's going to send a picture, keep it tasteful. Keep it tasteful. There's a difference between sexy and disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
Not gonna be disgusting about this. Is not for kids. So we obviously have chemistry. We're attracted to each other, and I love his.
So I can tell you this: Heather is a phone rapist.
Here's Marty explaining it.
remember she's like, yeah, hey, and like, okay, so like, like every time I'd be like,
Oh, God.
okay, well, all right, Heather, all right, we'll see you later. And then she's like, hey, and I remember like,
Yes.
yeah, Heather, like I'm ready to explode like Mount St. Helens, like I'm as hard as the rock.
I actually covered that one a long time ago. I think, or maybe I covered it on Skinny Queen's channel, but I will cover that one again one of these days. I had something else planned for today for the last video, and that one's long enough that I think it deserves a place of honor, but I think I could do that next week. I think I'll do a full review of that one. That one is worth doing a full segment.
Gibraltar. Is this new? No, it's old. It's old. I stopped playing.
And I got to find the video too. I don't even know where I left the link. So I'd have to go find it. If somebody does have the link, you can send it to me again. But yeah, we're going to save that for next week, I think, because that deserves a full segment.
I stopped playing around with her because like the police started showing up at my home. I was like, you know what? This just isn't worth it. This just isn't worth it. What on the phone? Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah.
Voice.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I need to get him a freaking contract with NBC. He needs to have his own show. He's so charismatic and funny.
I think I have the recording somewhere, to be honest.
Like,
I'll
Okay, so this is funny, but let's fast forward just a little bit because let me show a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to let it run a little more.
I love his videos.
This is funny. We're describing MusicBizMarty.
Oh man, I wish he'd love me back and be my king.
if I can find it, I'll actually put it up on the Patreon.
And you guys should donate to him on his channel.
That's
He's
true.
a good guy. He
That's
really
true.
is.
Speaking of which, you know what? I'll put up my Cash App link for a second. Thank you to anybody out there who does want to make a donation. We temporarily are, the membership's still getting worked out, but until then, the Cash App is always available for anybody interested. Donations appreciated, never required.
Great guy.
Like I thought I was in love with the other dude, but that was unrequited. This is like crazy. My heart chakra's going off right now as I'm talking about him. And Marty thinks I'll always be in love with who, but no, I'm over him. Like, I'm crazy about Marty. Like,
and thank you to Icy.
Cat's out of the bag. It's a saying, guys. If I could sing anything to him, it would be At Last by Etta James. Okay, here we go.
Oh, shit.
Oh, kisses for Marty. But
She loves very deeply. Heather does. She doesn't love. She says Marty and this other guy who she calls Jimmy. You're gonna see her contacting with Jimmy in a minute. That's what's gonna be funny in a minute. Jimmy.
At last,
Oh boy,
my love has come along.
I gotta pause because she sings it so well. We might get a copyright strike against us. They might think that this is Etta James, and they might think this is the original.
Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Life is like a song. Oh yeah, At Last. And again, that's Etta James' song, At Last. Beautiful song.
Yes.
So, what you guys don't know about me, fun fact is I'm Jewish. My mom's Jewish. I'm automatically Jewish.
Well, that's how it works.
Yeah, really.
Fun fact, you would have never guessed it from, she's not like she doesn't say it every 5 minutes.
More Jewish than anything, and I own it, and I love it. I'm not better than no one else. I'm not. I just want you guys to believe in God and love and all the good things. And I have a present for Marty.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna got my finger on the stop button ready just in case what this present is.
It's PG.
Okay.
It's PG. Look at her arms. Look at the skin on her arms, just for you can get an idea of what she's seen. Why she doesn't ever zoom in.
All right, it's PG.
Let me.
Okay.
Look at the skin on her arms. Jesus, look at that. That looks horrible. You can barely see it because of the lighting.
Yeah, her arms.
Look at that. Jesus Christ. She has got some real cellulite. I want to say cellulitis. I don't know what dermatitis, but that's not looking good. That's dermatitis or something.
See this picture? I was 15 in this picture.
She's showing a picture when she was 15 years old, which is kind of creepy in a way that she's showing a picture when she was only 15. But whatever.
200 pounds. This is my body goals. I was this.
Her goals are to look like she did back when she was only 15, which is not a realistic goal. First of all, you can't look like you looked when you were 15. You can be the same weight, but it's not a realistic goal. When you were 15, you were still pubescent.
Hey, Marty, guess what? I can be this again. 200 pounds at 5'2". It's not obese. No way.
Barnacleitis.
Look at me. I was a baby. That's baby making.
I thought you said barnacle tits at first. I read that as barnacle tits.
Hips
Still
right
is-
there.
She still is a babe. Yeah.
Psoriasis.
I'm 37
Okay,
now.
thank
I was 15 in this picture.
you. I don't know.
This is really me. This is my mom's house. I was standing in the living room.
I will agree with that. Unfortunately, she becomes psychotic and obsessive. You know, that is the problem. I don't mind that she's assertive. I think that's good. But but she becomes psychotic and crazy. she becomes like a stalker. That's the problem. Could be eczema. It could just be a lack of washing. It looks more like she just doesn't wash, to be fair. Yeah, mental illness is real. Oh, that's actually a good point, Empress. Although she says she can't leave her room, I should take that back. She can leave her room, but not unassisted. She needs help to leave her room. So she does leave her room. She just can't leave on her own. She needs to have like one of her family members take her to the washroom. I don't know if she can wash though. I don't know. I know that she's like she's disabled in a lot of ways. I know that. Yeah, right. Agreed, Blue Eyes. She spends too much time online alone, and especially somebody so
Marty, just think
emotionally
about it.
needy. She's very emotionally needy. That's another thing too. Some people are very, very. Some people just do better alone. Some people, especially some guys, I find they just like to be left alone. They just do. They like to do their own thing. They like to read. Maybe they have a job where they get to work by themselves. Some people just like to be alone. But some people, they need to be around others. They need that social energy. They need that sense of belonging. They need that touch. They just need to be around other people. Heather is that way. Heather is somebody who gets very lonely. She needs to be around other people. She needs a man in her life, like she says. She's very emotionally needy. So for her to be alone is not a good thing because she's so emotionally needy. She doesn't adapt well to the solitude.
I love you to pieces. I do. You have my heart. I wouldn't have my
Yeah,
success without you, and you're a good man.
She's not isolated.
So everyone check out his channel, MusicBizMarty.
Marty.
Yeah.
Okay, so now here we're gonna watch the next segment, and this next segment from Marty's stream. And again, Marty's. Anybody wants to check out Marty's channel, feel free. I already put the link in the chat. But I like to just cut down the parts that I really thought were especially funny, and this part right here. So now this is Heather. This is just like the other day, just like a couple days ago. This is her most recent video. I don't know where he found this video. I could not find it myself. That's why I'm using MusicBizMarty's channel for this. This is her on Chatterbait. Yes, Chatterbait.
But until then, just watching Will and Grace,
Exactly, Denise.
which Heather likes.
Hold on. So let me go back a little bit. I went forward too far.
Okay. So it breaks my heart, but she's back into Jimmy, you know. The one that got away. What can you do?
Nothing wrong with that.
Now, the interesting thing is their correspondence. And, you know, for those of you who
Yes.
watched her for a while, here we go. Let me full screen this.
This is her on Chatterbait.
So the first comment when it started being recorded is, I love you. I love you too. Why can't we talk about sex? Tia Moo from Jimmy. Tia Moo me more.
So let me zoom in on this a little. Can you folks
Jimmy
see the
says,
chat?
I love you, big woman.
Are you folks able to see the chat on here? So Mr. Italy is the guy in the chat talking to her. That's her other twin flame, Jimmy, the guy who's married, who she decided that she was going to stalk and who had to get a restraining order against her. So he's in the chat here, and the first thing he says to her is, I love you. She says, I love you too. What is the first thing she says to him? Why can't we talk about sex? That's the first thing she says to him. She is like a sex addict. She is. She's crazy. She's always horny. So he responds, Te amo, bellissimo, mi amor. So I love you, big woman, he says. She says, oh, I love you too, big man. In all areas. So what's your plans for today? He says. And she says, just relax and watch some TV. I just had some ice cream. How about you? He says, I'm meeting up with a T-girl tonight for dinner on the water. And she says, lucky her. So just to give you an idea, that's Jimmy talking to her, trying to get her excited. Yes, it is what it sounds like, Nutty. Let me explain. Chatterbait is a site that is used for basically online strippers, men and women. I'll say women, mostly women, but men as well, who want to do sex shows. They want to perform sexually on camera. They perform on a site like Chatterbait, where people can buy tokens, which are like poker chips for a casino, and you give those to the performers, being very polite about how I described this. Yeah, Kelly Irish with a very much blunt description. It's where you pay women to do sex acts, basically. Welcome to Sunshine Country Chickens. Heather has been hiding on Chatterbait, apparently. Yeah, I don't think she can reach either. I don't think she could reach much of anything. And she did notice she's on Chatterbait, but she's not getting naked. She's talking to a guy in the chat. Yeah, I'm an expert. No, I'm not. All I know is the basics. That you can go there and hire somebody to do stuff.
Baby Reindeer 975 says, I love you too, big man. In all areas. He asks, so what are your plans for today? Just relax and watch TV. Just had some ice cream. How about you? Jimmy says, I'm meeting up with T-girl tonight for dinner on the water. And Heather says, lucky her. So this bothers her.
I only have one chip. It's a $10,000 chip.
But until then, just watching Will and Grace, which Heather likes.
So this guy is he's telling her that he's gonna meet up with a T-girl tonight, and then he says, I'm gonna be watching Will and Grace. She thinks this is the married man, Jimmy, the one she's in love with. Heather? I can't even tell.
Common ground.
She was always so big, but she does look she looks as big as she's ever looked.
And so also you got to wonder, like, if they're having this really steamy communication and they're engaged in a romantic tryst, like, why won't they just talk privately?
Yeah, Marty bringing up the good point here. Why don't they just talk? Why don't they just speak privately? Why are they on this public Chatterbait site? If this is her true love, why do they have to talk on Chatterbait? Why can't they talk in person?
Well, I will say that I'm glad that they are. That seems like a really weird medium to communicate, right? Ooh.
Will and Grace might be that. Yeah, apparently that's what he likes to watch. That's what they like to watch together.
That's awesome.
He says your area behind you looks less cluttered.
Says your area behind you looks less cluttered. Thanks. Yep.
But her arms are twice the size. So, I mean, it's a different distribution. She's got way more arm. Chantel's got way more hand. So I guess Chantel's better at slapping. Heather's better at choking you. I don't know. Not really.
Because I'm wife material. I hope you have a nice time.
So I love how she responds to him. So he says to her, hey, looks less cluttered behind you. We're going to watch Will and Grace. She immediately says to him, I am wifey material. So she is so desperate. She immediately says to him, I am wifey material. She wants to get married already.
Oh wow, it says.
That's a good point.
Wow,
She does
and
hide
he
her
says,
arms.
"Read the fucking comments before you lump you up like those thugs in Inglewood."
Yeah, then he says, read the effing comments before I lump you up like those thugs in Inglewood. So let's see how she responds to this.
You know, the fucked up thing is she believes all of this. Like people, ever since I've known of Heather, she always believes that people showing up in her chat were Jimmy, like just people trying to get her attention. Jimmy has a restraining order against her. In fact, her sister has a restraining order against her as well. Like she got locked up briefly for violating it. Lump you up like those thugs in England.
So, Mr. Illigo's your
By
area.
the way, we're running low on time. Would you folks like to watch a little bit more of this, or would you like to watch that segment about the crazy prescription fraud true crime story? Because that's a crazy segment. If you want to, we could either save that for another week, or we could try watching that at the end, because I think that's a pretty funny segment too.
Look, behind you looks less cluttered. I put thanks. LOL, my material. You have a nice time in your date. And Mr. Illigo's read the fucking
Script fraud?
comments
Okay,
before I
fair
lump-
enough. Let's try that.
I'm not saying the rest.
I want to try to edit out also. Let's do that to finish it up with. So let me pull that up real quick. Give me a second here. I'll let this run while I pull that up.
Okay.
You know, and the fact that this guy says lumped up, I think I know who this is. It's this guy outspoken. I'm almost 1,000,000% sure. Like, I don't want to out the guy for it. But like lumped up is not, it's not.
All right, let's go with it. So 1 second here.
The rapper is facing over 60 charges after he was arrested in Cache County.
NBA YoungBoy was arrested this week at his Mill Creek home in what the Cache County Sheriff's Office is calling an ongoing investigation into criminal conduct.
Not quite. I got a date with the bed, so I can be up on time tomorrow. Not quite.
We are
as
learning new
romantic.
details about why young rapper NBA YoungBoy was arrested in Utah yesterday.
The rapper, whose real name is Kentrell Deshaun
Yes.
Golden, was under house arrest as he awaited trial on federal gun charges. Several agencies, including the FBI and Secret Service, executed a search warrant yesterday morning.
September 19th.
This guy narrates it very well. I'm going to give some commentary along the way. But this guy here does a really good video.
2023. Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram, Utah, received a prescription called in for a 74-year-old woman named Bethel White. The physician who called provided the proper identification, but the number he called from wasn't from his pharmacy. A phone call to the
From his office, he means to say. He misspoke there. The call came in from a number that was not the doctor's actual number. So the pharmacy became suspicious.
suspected pharmacy would confirm suspicions. The pharmacist didn't have a patient named Bethel White. He never called in a prescription, and apparently someone's made several orders using his name that day. The prescription was for an antibiotic, as well as promethazine with codeine, a Schedule 5 controlled substance.
Of course, it's for lean, which is the most stereotypical rapper drug. It is like all these rappers on social media post pictures with it, with the bottles, like Young Thug here, and they talk about it in their music. It's like a meme at this point that rappers use this stuff.
And one of the most abused and sought after drugs in hip hop. The antibiotic was most likely just to make the prescription less of a red flag. Law enforcement would wait in the parking lot of Reed's Pharmacy waiting for someone to pick up the order, but nobody came. That same day, Spencer's Pharmacy in Logan, Utah, received a call from the same suspect using the same...
Well, let me give a little backstory. This rapper, the reason he was in Utah is because he was actually adopted as a teenager by a family in Utah. And he lives over there, so he has a connection in Utah to a family who adopted him over there. So he grew up in Baton Rouge, I think, and he grew up in Louisiana. I know that. And he was kind of a gangster over there. And then when he was older, his family moved him. His family adopted him in Utah. And then he became a rapper, and he kind of went back to Louisiana and got into some trouble. after he got into that trouble, he decided to go to Utah under house arrest to hopefully stay out of trouble. And that's what ended up happening. What led to
physician's information. This time, 71-year-old Gwendolyn Cox needed promethazine with codeine. 2 weeks after the prescription was called in, a female came and picked it up, stating Gwendolyn was her grandmother. The following month, Spence's pharmacy received a second call requesting more lean for grandma.
Okay, so just to summarize here again, the pharmacy that filed the complaint said they got a call for a prescription from a doctor. The call was suspicious. They looked into it. The guy hung up. Then they got another call for another woman. This one, I guess, was not suspicious, or it was not as suspicious. So they filled it. Then when she asked for a refill, they looked into it and they saw that it was also a suspicious prescription.
Spence's obviously realized the 71-year-old didn't just drink a whole bottle of syrup in less than 3 weeks. So this time they requested a hard copy of the prescription with the patient. So the suspect...
Yes, so they were suspicious the first time the prescriptions were just called in. I guess because that's the easiest way to do it, right? If you're going to do this prescription fraud, I guess it's easier to call it in than anything else. I wouldn't know, but apparently it is. So, but then the next time they said, hey, you got to provide a written one as well. Well, they couldn't do that. So they just hung up the phone.
On the phone, hung up the call. Spence's pharmacy attempted to call the number back after looking up the physician's name, only to make contact with the real physician, finding out someone's been fraudulently using his credentials. On January 17th, 2024, a fraudulent prescription was called into Larry's pharmacy in Smithfield, Utah.
This guy is so stupid. The way this prescription fraud is so dumb and so blatant. Like normally when I hear somebody doing prescription fraud, it's usually some desperate drug addict who forges a paper to get some pills, or a bottle of scissor even, whatever. But it's usually like a one-time thing, and I usually feel bad for them. This guy was doing this for a long time, and he was not very good at it. How can you be out from the streets, and the only way you can think to get drugs is going to a pharmacy?
It was the same deal. Another elderly woman wanted lean.
You're welcome. It takes the
things
cake.
looked suspicious. The pharmacy called the police. An agent assigned to the cash-rich drug task force would conduct the initial investigation. Obvious similarities between the reports from the different pharmacies would lead officers to devise a plan. Contact would be made, and 2 females would arrive at Larry's pharmacy to pick up the prescription. They'd be detained, and officers would smell a strong odor of marijuana coming from the Chevy Tahoe they drove in. With the females consenting to a search, marijuana flakes would be found around the interior.
So the cops set up kind of a sting, because I guess this prescription fraud stuff, they saw that this was going on at multiple pharmacies, and they believed it was the same people doing all of it. Because there was this, even though it's prescription fraud, there was really very little fraud. It was just calling in, telling them to fill a prescription and giving a fake number. They weren't really doing any. It was a very unsophisticated fraud. That's what I should say. It was an extremely unsophisticated fraud.
Along with an empty handgun case for a .45 caliber 1911. They'd claimed the marijuana wasn't theirs, and they were picking up a prescription for a friend that they refused to name.
I don't know. I think that
the 2 women would later.
I don't think it's quite as bad, but I do know that it's more serious than just, possessing drugs.
To be arrested for their role in the prescription fraud ring, and officers would discover the Chevy Tahoe they were riding in was registered out of Texas under a 24-year-old man named Kentrell Golden. Kentrell would be more commonly known as rap superstar NBA YoungBoy. One of the task force agents would be contacted by dispatch and informed that none other than Gwendolyn Cox needed to speak with him. During the conversation, she'd state her last name was White instead of Cox, and she'd give her birth month and date, but couldn't provide the age and what.
So did you hear that? So while they were detaining these 2 women, at least I think this is what he says. While they detained the 2 women who went to pick up the prescription, somebody called the police claiming to be the elderly woman, claiming to be Gwendolyn Cox. Then they said, no, actually, my name is Gwendolyn White.
Wouldn't provide her address.
But they couldn't provide an address. They could not provide an age.
It was very clear to the agent that Gwendolyn was using a fake voice, as this old woman sounded like a much younger male from the South.
So in other words, this elderly woman from Utah sounded like a young man from the South. In other words, the voice did not match the woman.
She or he made a statement saying, "Well, I asked her to, and she said that she'll have you call me." The terminology "ax" instead of "ask" was a dead giveaway and consistent with a Southern dialect from states like Texas, Georgia, and Louisiana. The following day, a person who self-identified as NBA YoungBoy's business manager attempted to contact the drug task force in an effort to get the Chevy Tahoe out of the
This is the best part. So the next day, his manager calls the police, the drug task force specifically, to get the car back. He wants to get back the car. This is after they call up. This is after they already called up yesterday pretending to be Gwendolyn White. They could not provide an age. They hung up the phone. The next day they call up and they say, yeah, we need to get our car back.
During this time, the impound company suspected the vehicle may be stolen after speaking with the so-called manager. So the task force officer requested to speak directly with YoungBoy. On a conference call being recorded by dispatch, YoungBoy told the task force agent the females arrested at the pharmacy were family. The agent would ask about his relations to the female and if they had his permission to drive his vehicle, to which YoungBoy said they did have his permission, and he asked for his vehicle back.
Now, the best part is coming up next. This is the best part of the whole story, so pay attention. He just asked for the vehicle back, said, no, it was my car. They're my family. I'd like to get the car back. I don't know what's going on. Okay, next part.
The agent would tell YoungBoy how to get his vehicle back, and the conversation would continue when YoungBoy said, ask him about the prescription that they picked up. He paused for a few seconds before saying, she on the fucking hospital bed. She on the hospital bed. The agent was aware YoungBoy was speaking to someone else who claimed to be YoungBoy's brother. The call would break up and go silent for durations of time, leading the agent to believe they were muting the call. Because YoungBoy was speaking about prescriptions without being asked, showed he had knowledge of the fraudulent prescription the females attempted to pick up. It would also prove intent, as YoungBoy attempted to further the prescription fraud by stating, she's on a hospital bed, referring to the fake patient. YoungBoy would also...
He called the police to ask about the drugs. He called them up to ask if they could, hey, could we still get that lean? Can we still get that bottle of scissor for Gwendolyn? The old lady? Yeah, she still needs her drugs. And keep in mind, this is codeine cough syrup. You know how much drugs there are in a bottle of cough syrup? If you've ever gotten codeine tablets, there's a bottle of syrup has 8 ounces of syrup. 1 ounce of syrup is equal to 1 tablet. That's the equivalent of 8 freaking pills. 8 codeine pills. That's what he was doing, all this fraud to get the equivalent of 8 codeine pills. That is crazy. And he was on house arrest, mind you. This is crazy. The whole thing is crazy.
Using the word ax instead of ask. The same way the fake patient Gwendolyn did on the phone. And at this point, it would appear obvious NBA YoungBoy was pretending to be a 71-year-old woman in an attempt to get lean. The drug task force...
I'll say this. Back in my day, we would have all made fun of this guy. And we would have said, what an idiot. How can you be from the streets? How can you be this gangster from the streets and you can't even score a bag of drugs? The only way he couldn't even get real dope. He had to get freaking codeine pills, or codeine syrup, excuse me, from a pharmacy by pretending to be an old lady to get 8 pills, the equivalent of 8 pills. And he was doing this every week, it looked like. Every week he was calling in another bottle. This is just crazy. It wasn't even like a strong drug.
Would speak with the physician whose name was being fraudulently used, and a report for how many prescriptions were successfully picked up.
All those million, literally, he's not, and he's a successful rapper. Anybody could say they're a rapper, but if you're a successful rapper and you're actually making millions of dollars, which allegedly he was, then why the hell couldn't he pay somebody to go score some drugs for him? Why couldn't he get one of his friends in Louisiana, give him, however many thousands of dollars he wanted to? Here's $20,000. Go score me a few bags of fentanyl or something over in Louisiana. Go get some real drugs. But he was so stupid, he wanted to get the name brand cough syrup. And I guess they couldn't get him that on the street. So he's like, no, I got to go to the pharmacy. I got to get my lean. I got to get my real drink.
Be made. Ann White, Beatrice White, Caroline White, Gwendolyn White, Alice White, Francine White, Francine Taylor, and Gwendolyn Cox were all fake elderly women whose names were used to pick up different amounts of codeine, sometimes repeatedly. Surprisingly, NBA YoungBoy's own name, Cantrell Gaulden, will be used with a birth year of 1953 to pick up a 7-day
He even used his own name at one point with somebody else's birth year.
Supply of codeine. A juvenile would be apprehended at the pharmacy after attempting to pick it up. Additional calls were made using YoungBoy's real name and real birth date by someone in Houston, Texas. It was discovered the same white Tahoe registered in Texas.
And these are great comments. I think that you can get Canada without a Skinny Queen. I think is correct. I don't know for sure. I know parts of Europe you can get codeine without even a prescription. That's how weak the codeine pills are that he was using. You could get the same strength tablets without a prescription in Canada. And I know that you can get them without a prescription other places. And back when my mother told me this, when she was younger, you could get a bottle of codeine cough syrup just by signing your name at the pharmacy. You didn't even have to get a prescription. That's how it was. It was so minor. And now just for that, and I'm not saying I think that he should go to prison for life for drugs, but he was already on house arrest for shooting people. So if that's true, that kind of changes things as far as, this shows what an unreliable character he is, that he was committing this kind of fraud. I'm hearing you on that, Kelly, and respect on being in recovery. It's proud of you to hear that. But yeah, from my understanding, this is very weak drugs. These aren't even like strong drugs.
Females were arrested in could be seen in one of YoungBoy's music videos.
Probably.
Further investigation into YoungBoy was conducted after he was identified as the primary suspect. Rising from the trenches of Baton Rouge, YoungBoy is documented to have lived in Louisiana, Texas, Georgia, California, and Utah. He's also currently on federal pretrial probation as he awaits trial for a federal gun charge for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The rap star's criminal history is not only extensive, but violent.
Yeah, that's the thing, because he's already got all these violent crimes on his record, because they're going to use this drug case to jail him for that. And because of that, people aren't going to have sympathy for him. If it was only the drugs, people would say, oh, well, he's an addict. Why are you giving him such a hard time just for some drugs? But they're not jailing him for the drugs. Well, I mean, they are, but they're going to really jailing him for the shootings. And people aren't going to feel bad for you if you're in jail for shooting people.
In 2016, YoungBoy was arrested on 2 charges of murder in Louisiana as a juvenile. The charges were eventually reduced, and YoungBoy would be convicted of aggravated assault with a firearm, while his second charge of attempted murder was dropped entirely. This conviction alone would make him a convicted felon. In 2018,
you're telling me right now, this video, all these guys here, you're telling me that this entire group, not one of these guys could score some drugs for him. Not one of his homies could score him a bag of dope. This is crazy to me.
Aggravated assault.
These guys should be ashamed. Every one of you, turn in your gangster cards. Turn in your gangster cards and go get it. Go get a real job, because you are not gangsters if you cannot score a bag of drugs.
And kidnapping, with the kidnapping later being dismissed. YoungBoy would plead guilty to a lesser charge of simple battery, resulting in a misdemeanor conviction. And
look at this. Who are these guys? Just actors that he hired? Because I might believe it at this point. Why did he need to claim to be Ethel White to get a bottle of codeine if he's got a whole crew of gangsters with him?
Months of probation. In 2019, YoungBoy would be arrested for marijuana in Georgia, and in 2020, he'd be arrested in Louisiana for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, distribution of marijuana, possession of a controlled substance, illegally carrying a weapon, illegal possession of a stolen firearm, and possession of a controlled substance. In 2021, the feds would indict YoungBoy.
He's got all this money, all these guns, but he has to pretend to be some old lady just to get a bottle of cough syrup.
Louisiana gun charge, and 3 years later, he'd still be on pretrial release. YoungBoy has been identified by the FBI as the leader of the NBA street gang.
Okay, now this is the part I have to ask a question on. The FBI has identified him as the leader of the NBA street gang. What does the NBA street gang do? It can't be getting drugs because they're really bad at that. Do they just like work as extras in rap videos? Is that what the NBA gang does? They'll show up in your video and wave around some guns? Because that sounds like about all they can do. Because damn, like how they left their homie hang.
The gang itself is a group of YoungBoy's associates that have been classified as a gang because of their structure, affiliation, and violent behavior. YoungBoy's music is heavily influenced by that behavior, as he is consistently rapping about shooting and killing people, using drugs, and having a strong dislike for law enforcement.
Yeah, Kelly. I guess that's it. I guess that's like the one thing they're not into. Like we don't do that. We just use them. We don't sell them. They only use them. They don't. Well, no, you're right about that. I'm just kind of making a joke here.
The rap star currently resides in Huntsville, Utah, within a multi-million-dollar mansion he's named Gravedigger Mountain. With an ankle monitor, YoungBoy needs approval to leave his home for any reason, to the point that it doesn't even matter if it's a doctor's appointment. All guests that enter Gravedigger Mountain also have to be approved by his federal probation before entering the property. The same suspects that would be caught up attempting to pick up fraudulent prescriptions were all on YoungBoy's visiting list. On April 6th,
I get you on that, Susie Q. I know some family members who've even told me they've had trouble getting a prescription for very, very little drugs. The doctor doesn't want to write any kind of prescription. So that's why this prescription fraud that he was doing was so stupid, because there was no way he was going to get away with this for any length of time.
2024, a search warrant was executed on Gravedigger Mountain. Everyone within the mansion was detained, including YoungBoy, and after being read his rights, he agreed to an interview. YoungBoy was asked about the presence of firearms inside of the home. He said a gun belonging to his wife.
I'm going to skip that forward a little bit. So they found a gun in the property. He said it was his wife's gun, but then he admitted that he lifted it up and moved the gun. So now he's got a federal gun charge against him because he was on house arrest, which means that he's not allowed to even touch a gun while he's on house arrest.
Having been prescribed drugs from any other doctor. When asked about his associates picking up fraudulent prescriptions, he claimed to have no knowledge and continued to deny having been prescribed drugs from any other doctor.
So he denied being prescribed drugs when he was prescribed drugs by a doctor in Houston. So he was double dipping on the prescriptions.
When asked about his associates picking up fraudulent prescriptions, he claimed to have no knowledge of their activities. He confirmed his association with 3 of them, and when confronted about the call with the agent, he stated he didn't remember, making suggestions the agent likely spoke with his dad. But the agent would note YoungBoy has a very distinct voice and that it was in fact him on the call, as the agent later spoke with YoungBoy's dad and could tell it wasn't him.
Yeah, by the way, YoungBoy's dad is some old guy from Utah. So they have a very different accent. His dad sounds nothing like him. His dad adopted him when he was like 15.
YoungBoy was interviewed further, but continued to be deceptive and deny knowledge of anything illegal. During the search, law enforcement found a prescription bottle inside YoungBoy's bathroom within the master bedroom. The bottle was prescribed to Caroline White, one of the fraudulent names. An antibiotic would be found within YoungBoy's name.
You're correct. It's a loophole. If his wife owns a gun, then the gun can be on the property, but he is not allowed to even touch it. He's not allowed to be in the same room as, there's laws. I mean, yes, how are you going to enforce the law? It sounds kind of silly, but it's kind of a loophole you can use. But he didn't even use it correctly, because then he admitted to touching the gun, what was the point of saying it was his wife's gun if he was going to admit that he touched it?
but with the birth date from 1955, and another bottle of promethazine would be found without a label.
He's gonna come out as
The
old boy.
handgun YoungBoy admitted of possessing would be found with
YoungBoy. In my opinion, he's going to be in protective custody for two reasons. One, because he's a celebrity, so he's not even going to have a choice. So they're going to put him in protect. But number two, he doesn't look tough. He might be tough as far as pulling a trigger, but he does not look like somebody who knows how to fight at all. Like, he looks really scrawny. He looks like a junkie. He looks like a snitch. He looks like somebody who's gonna snitch to get some dope. And that's what he's going to be. He's going to be a jailhouse snitch because he's not, I mean, he's got money, but he's going to get extorted for that money. And that's what I see happening.
within the master bedroom closet with an empty magazine and one round loaded in the chamber. 3 more bottles of promethazine would be found inside of the home, and all electronics was seized. NBA YoungBoy
Look how many charges they got on him.
and charged with possession of a weapon by a restricted person.
And let me also point out, any lurkers, anybody listening for the first time, I don't take any joy in this guy getting all this prescription fraud against him, because I sympathize that he has an addiction. But I do think that he is a clown for flexing like he's some kind of gangster when he can't even score a bottle of dope or a bag of dope, whatever.
Pattern of unlawful activity.
I think he's a clown.
20 counts of identity fraud, 20 counts of procuring or attempting to procure a drug prescription, 20 counts of forgery, and possession of a controlled substance, being marijuana or spice. Now, while it sounds like YoungBoy clearly has a drug problem,
And also because he encourages all that violence, I don't care for him either. If his music wasn't so negative and violent, then I might have a little more sympathy for him. But I don't. It's not like the world is going to be a poorer place for not getting to hear his raps.
and was using his team to obtain them, how serious are his actual charges?
He's looking at a lot
For
of
possessing
charges.
the weapon and the pattern of unlawful activity, he faces up to 15 years each.
If it was anybody else, I'd say it was too much. But this guy is such a dope, and he's such a. I just can't drum up much sympathy for him.
Both fraud and forgery carry up to 5 years in prison, while trying to get a prescription carries up to a year.
Interesting.
Because he faces 62 charges, NBA YoungBoy is facing, at maximum, a total of 250 years.
250
But it's
years.
highly unlikely he'd receive that sentence, as that's the max punishment on every count. What is likely to happen is the feds will indict YoungBoy again for being a felon in possession of a firearm, the same way they did after his arrest in Louisiana. If this happens, we can expect his pretrial release to be gone and YoungBoy to be kept in a federal facility until both federal cases come to an end. The fact that he admitted he moved the gun is an admission of guilt,
He
which
admitted
his
it.
lawyer will have to fight to get that statement thrown out.
And that's one of those things where it doesn't matter why he moved it. It's one of those things where the way the law is written, he's not allowed to handle the weapon.
On top of that, the gun was found loaded in his bedroom closet, meaning while he may not have physically possessed it, even though he said he did, he could still be charged with constructive possession for the simple fact.
I agree, Denise. You know something? I do. I don't think he's tough, but I do think he's dangerous. I think he would not hesitate to shoot somebody again.
Fact that he had access to it. Obviously, being placed on house arrest for years is damaging to one's mental health, and a drug addiction can blur one's mind. But we'll just have to wait and see if YoungBoy's legal team is able to find sympathy while prosecutors seek punishment and a judge weighs out.
And look how high he is in this video. You could just look how high he is right here.
Sympathy while prosecutors seek punishment and a judge
falling over
weighs
almost.
out justice.
Well, that's that. All right. I'm gonna shuttle you off. Is Hannibal on tonight? If he is, I'll send you all over to there. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that's the Hannibal's on. All right, let me send you folks on over. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a good night tonight. Yeah, NBA YoungBoy. This guy seems like a punk to me. He doesn't seem like a good. He doesn't seem like somebody who just got a bad break. He seems like a nasty piece of work. But I don't really know. I'm not an expert. I only know what I see. All right, everybody. You have a blessed night. Thank you, everybody who's come in. Thank you for all the lurkers. Thank you for all the chatters. Thank you for all the people watching the replay. You've been a fantastic audience, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you around next week, and I'll probably stop into Hannibal just to say hi for a bit. All right. Good night, everybody.